Yo, 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 what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 537. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez,
What's up, people? How's it going?
Carlos Romero,
Yo, yo, yo.
Adam Vale. You don't want to say nothing.
I did.
No, you didn't.
You don't hear me?
No, you didn't say anything. You just like...
I did. No, I did. Holy
All right,
crap.
he's fucking with me. And...
No.
and Brian...
Now I'm nervous.
Yeah, and Brian Majoma.
What up, what up?
There he is. All right, people, we're back with another one. No Brett action, needs some time off, recouping. We don't know where the hell Chris is. He might be taking care of the kid, that dad life. And Rich, he's off in Los Angeles, man. Summer Game Fest.
He's at the fest, yo.
He's at the fest, that's right. So he's going to be our man on the ground, as it were, giving us live scoops. And I'm gonna say this.
Love to pick his brain. I'd love to pick his brain about the process. This Summer Game Fest is like full effect now. We're now like the previous one was like still pandemic-y, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So now, what is this? What is this experience be like?
This is a fully formed and operational Summer Game Fest.
Summer Games Fest.
Yeah. So I guess if he's back on Sunday, we'll talk. But speaking about Sunday, we will be live streaming the Xbox Showcase, people. Live streaming.
Wait. So, obviously you're probably not going to be around for the actual Summer Games Fest because that's at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Wait, what are you talking about?
The Summer Games Fest presentation is tomorrow.
Oh yeah, no, I can't do that. But I will be around for the Xbox Showcase, which is at 1 p.m. on Sunday, which will be good. So stay tuned. Ooh, actually, I got to talk to my sister. She says she wanted to come over this weekend. I'm going to have to tell her, come Saturday, because I definitely want to do that live stream, especially if announcements happen like during what we're going to talk about. Shout out to Chris, who just joined us. Perfect timing. All right, so tonight we're going to keep things very simple. We're going to talk about State of Play. We're going to give our first impressions, for those who have it, of the Switch 2, and then we're going to do some Summer Game Fest predictions for fun, Logic Wins, what's going on, brother? He goes, Xbox stream, baby, I'm there. I know you are. Barry Byrne, shout out to you. Logic Wins says, appreciate you all doing a show tonight despite not much happening in gaming. Yeah, nothing happened this week, bro. It's fucking slow, right?
Yeah, nothing, absolutely nothing happened this week.
Nothing happened, Man,
I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Man, I think
I don't know what happened.
Manny, I always admire your Spider-Man figures. Do you have any around?
Oh, you mean this one?
Yay! There you go.
And wait. I have a Wolverine to go with that.
Well, that Wolverine may be a secret character, perhaps, Manny. It's something we're going to talk about.
Wait. There might be another character here that I might have. I don't know.
Yo, man, you got Storm? Where's she at?
Oh no, but I don't have Storm, but I'd have Psylocke.
Yeah, maybe that'll. Yo, hey, there he is. There's Reggie. He's in the chat. Reggie, what is the significance of this hat? You got to figure it out. I've been wearing this hat.
What is the significance of this shirt and this hat right here?
Yeah. Yeah, Reggie, man, I've been wearing this hat for 2 weeks. What does it mean? What is Tony hiding? So I did actually legit hide something from actually everybody on this panel too. There you go, Iron Man.
Hair plugs.
Iron
Man.
Your hair plugs.
No hair plugs. I'm bald and loving it.
Oh, okay.
Hair plugs here, pure bald. Like fucking bald bull from. Hey, there you go, Doom. I wonder what Manny's trying to tell us. Dr. Doom, Iron Man. You got a Captain America?
Oh, he's on the show.
Hey, I see, man. He got them all, man. Like Pokemon. I know you don't have Miss Marvel though. We don't need that.
I don't have Miss Marvel, but I have the original Miss Marvel.
Okay, there you go. What is the significance of life right now, Tony?
What is the significance of life?
Reggie always cracks me up. Reggie, before, I used to kind of correct you with stuff when you were like, say something outlandish, like, no, Reggie, this is what's happening. Now I play into it, man. If you think there's a conspiracy theory, now if you think there's a conspiracy theory in my hat, I let you have it. Yeah, Reggie, there's a deep meaning for the hat I'm wearing tonight. There's a deep meaning to the hat Manny's wearing, and it's up to you to decide what that meaning is. Will two L trains pass each other through the night? We don't know. All right, man, let's get into it. So yeah, we're gonna do our breakdown of the state of play as we usually do, through the whole thing in order. But right now, I will tell you there are two things that happened during the middle of the show that I'm going to save towards the end because they link in with the final thing that happened in the show, which I'm going to just say right now, biggest megaton of the year for gaming. Holy shit. This is crazy. Is it exclusive to PC? Yes, it is. It is exclusive to PS5 and PC, All right, let's get into it, man. We started the show off with Luminous Arise. Looks nice, if you're a Luminous fan.
I spotted that one right away. I was like, oh, hey, this looks like a Luminous game. I mean, here's the thing. One thing about a Luminous game, they're super easy to do.
Yeah.
And they're fun. It's pretty much like Tetris. Some people thought it was the Tetris effect.
Apparently, it's by the same developer, yeah.
Yes, the same developer who created Luminous also did the Tetris effect for too. So it's like same thing.
Yeah. Jay Shep, what's going on, brother? Perfect timing. We just started. We kicked things off with Luminous Arise. I remember that was really big on the PSP, I believe. People really enjoyed it on that, or Vita.
It was PSP, and then there was also I think a PS5, PS4 version of it. That's on the service. So
yeah,
you have that.
So this game's dropping this year, 2025. That is not something we can say about a lot of the games. This presentation. Next up, what's up, Manny? Go ahead.
Wait till next year.
Yeah. So about next year, Pragmata. We got a new trailer. I think the girl's hair got longer this time than the last trailer.
Yeah, she had long hair, but they definitely did change the hair. Like they styled it a little bit.
Yeah.
More. It looks a little more anime now than it did in the previous one. It just looked like a mess.
Yeah.
So now she's got styled hair. It feels like it. You remember that game? Chris will remember this one. You remember the game where the game that Bandai Namco made, where it was like Gears of War?
I remember.
Mad World? Had a gun.
No, not Mad World. It was another one.
It was like Gears of War, but your gun was an anime girl.
Quantum something. Where the girl was on your shoulder and you threw her. Okay. Yeah,
that's the vibe I'm getting from this one. It's
my god, I played the demo.
Somebody in the chat give us the answer. We know what game we're talking about. It was made during the era when Japanese developers thought that the success meant to be like Western developers. No.
Yes. So
I played the demo for that too, Chris. Quantum, it was Quantum something.
Binary Domain. That was
binary domain. Yeah.
No, it wasn't Binary Domain. That was a 4-player co-op game. I remember because I played that.
So it's Quantum something.
Quantum something.
Oh, Quantum Theory? Is it Quantum Theory?
Could have been.
Might be right.
Michael Jackson Moonwalker.
I had that on Genesis.
But yeah, no, I played a demo of that too. Yeah, to me, what this reminds me of, I'm just gonna say, fucking Death Stranding. With that, that suit he has on.
I thought I was thinking Isaac Clarke.
Quantum Theory.
Quantum Theory. There you go.
Theory.
So a mixture of
like if you took it's like if you took like Isaac Clarke and then you stuck an anime girl on him.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much.
On his shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks very cool. RE Engine doing this thing.
Looks good.
So yeah, next year, people.
I like that. I like that at the end of the trailer.
Holy shit!
I like at the way at the end of remember like at that one time when they did the teaser and they're like, oh, she was like sad and she had a thing and it said, it's been delayed or something like that. So then it like flashed away and then it said, hey, next year. So it's taken them. What was it? It was supposed to come out 2023.
That's why I said, holy shit! This is what GameStop says. This is the first trailer for Pragmata since its debut trailer at the PlayStation Showcase in June 2020.
Wow.
So yeah,
and you guys remember that showcase where the first game they showed for PS5 was GTA 5.
GTA, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So
it's been so it's going to be 6 years for this game.
6 years. That's a. I mean, who knows how much longer it's been with that game beforehand.
Could have been longer than that.
So it's like 6+ years.
Yes.
Yeah, 6+ years. I mean, usually 5. Here's the thing: 5 to 6 years is a normal game development time.
Unfortunately,
unless they thought they could get that game out in 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it could have been delayed because they decided to use their house engine, and maybe it didn't have the tech they needed. They probably want to do some gimmicky stuff in here, and probably RE Engine 1.0 could not do it. Right? And now it can.
That's a good point.
I mean, it's an interesting looking game. I'm not like exactly excited to.
I'm interested.
I'm always. I'm interested. I'm at least. I'm happy to at least see a new IP in all of
this.
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking exactly that. Yeah, it's something new. I know the RE people were crestfallen after this state, man. They were there was a I follow a couple of streamers. They just do Resident Evil, right? That's their thing. Yo, these guys were fucking doing cope streams of playing the classic games because they were fucking pissed.
because they were expecting a Resident. They were expecting a Resident.
Coke. Yeah.
No,
not Coke.
They were that hyped.
They were expecting to see Resident Evil 9?
9.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. So yeah, it looks good. It looks good.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, next up, man, speaking about new IPs, Romeo is a Dead Man from Suda51 people.
Well, you can see his style
instantly.
A mile away, right?
You spotted it right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, man, this looks like No More Heroes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, it's funny because I was watching this thing at the office, right? There was already 5 people already leaving and stuff, just me and a couple of the other guys from Tom's Hardware. And I was just like, hey, this looks like a Suda51 game, And then sure enough, it was. So, yeah.
So, yeah, it looks interesting. I mean, it's, you know what? It's funny, though. It's looking at the Insomniac game that came out pretty... that you're not creating, but they revealed pretty recently. I'm seeing a lot of theming. He's in a spaceship. Like a kind of like a weird looking spaceship. He's fighting with a goofy lightsaber. He wears a members only leather jacket. Like it's sort of the same sort of aesthetics. Just Suda51, just nuts.
Yeah.
So fun thing. If you guys didn't hear me talk about it in the couple of seconds where
I don't even know what you're talking about. That never happened.
Yeah, but so funny thing is actually Suda teased this about 2023, and nobody figured it out. So I think at the time they were having their anniversary, like an anniversary stream, and they were talking about all the past stuff. And they showed a really nice piece of artwork by the comic artist and manga artist Peach Momoko. She currently does the X-Men book for Marvel. And she did, what was it, Demon Days, which is like a kind of a Japanese reimagining of all the Marvel characters. Really cool. And she worked on Marvel Rivals, and she designed like Psylocke.
Nice.
Anyway, she did a piece of artwork to, with, all the characters from, Grasshopper Manufacturer. And then there's this interesting thing on in the cover dressing on the side. It's essentially a side view of the main character's head, and one of the people who there's like, hey, what's that in the corner over there? And she's just like, pointing at it, and then it just kind of like scrambles and does goofy Grasshopper Manufacturer stuff and moves on. But yeah, nobody even like thought about it then. They're just like, okay, well, yeah, what is that thing? It's the main character's head.
Yes. That's pretty fun. All right, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that another 2026 game.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, here's a game that's actually coming out this year with an actual date, September 25th, Silent Hill F.
Yes. You get to see a little bit more gameplay from it. Out of all the Chris is the resident Silent Hill person here. But I would say out of all of the offerings they showed at that Silent Hill update that they showed years ago, I felt like F was the most interesting of them because it's something different.
Yeah, so it says right here and Chris, I'll let you go after this. It says it's the first Silent Hill game that's set in Japan.
Japan.
So it's pretty cool stuff. So yeah, Chris, what do you think of this?
It looks interesting. It feels like Siren, right? Did anybody play Siren?
I remember Siren.
Forbidden
Yeah,
Siren.
Yeah, you're in the village, but it has all the hallmarks. But Siren was basically this. It was you took the Silent Hill aesthetics, but you put it in a purely Japanese setting. Like I think Siren was an old fishing village. This seems pretty similar. You're playing a schoolgirl. I don't know. She seems troubled. Like she was talking to her friend, and her friend kind of calls her a traitor behind her back, and you're like, oh, what does that mean? And but the other stuff, besides the flowers, the fog is there. The twisted mannequins, her beating them with a pipe. I'm like, oh, there's all the Silent Hill hallmarks coming back, whacking teachers with pipes,
whacking like spooky mannequins. Yeah.
The only thing she wasn't dragging around was a radio, so you know when they're close by. Remember that? It just hissed when they were close. But it looks interesting. I'm curious about the story. Like I like this better than that teaser they put out. What was it, last year, the year before?
Yeah,
the one where the girl
teaser.
got all looked like a mushroom and her head split in half. I was like, I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah,
I don't know what to make of it.
She looked like a cherry blossom like monster.
Yeah. And so I'm glad there looks like there's some interesting monsters in there. I don't know. I think some people in the fandom won't be happy because that short message game, that free game that came out, they're kind of putting out there that Silent Hill is not a place anymore. It's not rural America, right? This town in rural America that you go to and it's fucked up and there's all this like ritualist cult shit happen and there's demons and the town becomes like the Twilight Zone because of your guilt and your past and whatnot. They're saying that Silent Hill is a phenomenon that can just go anywhere, right? Around the world. So that game, that short message happens in Germany. Now this game is happening in Japan. But the same sort of atmosphere, the fog and things fucking with you. Your kind of inner demons are reflected outward with these creatures. So, we'll see how that goes because I don't want to be too excited because honestly, Homecoming and Downpour weren't that great. So, but I heard the Silent Hill 2 remake was decent. I didn't play it. I played the original, fantastic game. So I do look forward to seeing this though. I want to see it return to form, and it'd be pretty interesting because it's not like, oh, go back to Silent Hill. It's a different Silent Hill. There's a whole cultural and geographical difference in this one. So that would be pretty interesting.
Yeah. Jay Shep says, I wonder if this game will be as well received as the Silent Hill 2 remake. We'll see, because remember, Silent Hill 2 was a remake of a beloved game. So,
Yeah, I mean, you kind of, it's fairly difficult to mess that one up if you keep to the things. This is definitely, a lot more to this one than just that. I mean, to go back to the game, one thing I do find that's interesting is they seem to be going fairly deep into some Japanese lore, like like one thing about Forbidden Siren, it was more eldritch than actual Japanese sort of culture stuff. So this one, it's like Shadow over Innsmouth, like world, but in Japan. That's even what Toyama said about that game. It's very, very H.P. Lovecraft based. But this one, it definitely seems like it's going into sort of more Japanese culture and sort of like, the kitsune and all that or other stuff. But we'll see what it is. It's a very interesting to kind of take to kind of decide. Okay, now we're going to be doing now Silent Hill is like Halloween 3. You know what I mean? It's like or. It's like, okay, no, Halloween is an anthology series, and now it can be anywhere. It can be anything.
Yeah, it's not Michael Myers. It can be anything.
It's not Michael Myers. It's masks that turn your heads to worms. Hopefully, it's not that. Even though I do like Halloween 3.
Yeah. All right. And again, that game's dropping September 25th, so stay tuned.
Yeah, getting spooky.
Yeah. Next one. This one was a nice little surprise. Bloodstained: The Scarlet Engagement. 2026, but a lot of us are big fans of the original Bloodstain, so very happy to see this. I wasn't expecting this. I was like, yo, is this Castlevania? But something was a little off about it. But it's Koji Igarashi. Obviously, that's why it had that feel. Doesn't have Homegirl. It doesn't seem like.
It doesn't seem like it has.
That's like a little disappointing, But gameplay is going to be there, so.
It looks like they're sort of addressing some sort of order and them going into essentially the Forbidden Castle. Forbidden Castle.
Yeah.
When I saw this one, I was like, this looks like Bloodstain. Because I don't know, the way that game, the design sense of that game, it's very specific to that game.
Yeah.
Like it's almost a little more like a little more detailed Castlevania. Like I don't know what that is, but whatever it is, you kind of can guess it by looking at it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, but it looks nice. Again, I love Bloodstained, so I'm looking forward to this. Unfortunately, it just says 2026. We don't know what the hell that means. But good stuff there.
I will say that one thing to them, like about his company, like they have been so diligent for the last year since the previous game to essentially addressing all of the bugs, addressing, essentially doing all the backer shit.
Yeah.
Like they hit every single thing that they were supposed to, while also putting out a damn good game and when it initially launched. Unlike, a certain Mighty game.
Mm-hmm. Cagey, kind of a cagey game.
Kind of a cagey game.
Yeah. Chris, what do you think? I know you like Bloodstained as well.
Oh yeah, it looks nice. I like the variety of weapons and the scenery. I don't know. I mean, it's like they kind of dance around. It's like, oh, the Council of the Demon Lord. I'm like, oh, you want to say Dracula so bad, but you can't do it.
Yep, can't say Dracula.
So, but it's all the feels are there. I do like, because when they showed the bosses, they showed like this montage of different creatures and these people. I'm like, oh, it's like 2D Bloodborne. I like this. So I definitely will play this. I was very happy to see that Bloodstain wasn't a one-off, right? That it continues on. That's great.
Yeah, no, I'm happy about that. I was not expecting that at all. So very happy about that. All right, next up we got Digimon Story. This one actually does come out this year, October 3rd. So if you're a Digimon fan, there you go.
It looks very nice for what it is. It looks like they got the Persona people or somebody to work on it.
Yeah, very interesting art style for sure.
Yeah, like they definitely usually Digimon games, they're kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. But I mean, they actually went for something, and they don't have the same 8 kids that they had in every single Digimon thing. So it's sort of nice to see some new characters in that world now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I've never seen anything Digimon, so I have no nothing. I mean,
Digimon is sort of like, again, it's like I want to call it like edgy Pokemon. Like, all the monsters have like chains and they look like they're like designed by Tetsuya Nomura. That they have chains and they have masks and they have like 3 different forms.
Yeah,
look even more extreme than the others.
I'm laughing because J Shep's like, am I the only person in the world who plays Digimon games? No, there's a bunch of other people. It's just guys in the panel don't play them, but people like Digimon. Listen, they wouldn't be making them if people didn't buy them.
People didn't buy them. But I mean, you look at like the time when that thing came out, like to all of us were already old.
We were adults when that shit came out. Yeah,
we're all adults when that came out, so we sort of missed the boat on any of that sort of stuff. I mean, my girlfriend used to like it when she was young, but this is what it is.
Yeah. But I remember because it was on TV around the same time Pokemon was. I like Pokemon better because Digimon, this is going to sound weird, it looked too digital to me.
It looked too clean.
Yeah, it was too clean. Pokemon still had that kind of grittiness of anime of the time, even though it was cleaner, but Digimon looked too clean to me,
Pokemon was a show that was still done on animation.
That's exactly what it is.
And,
so you can still tell Digimon, it was painted and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and Digimon was a show that was like one of the early like anime that were done digitally. A lot of the anime fans kind of talk smack about a lot of that era, because
like
the colors were not as
like me.
A lot of like a lot of like you could tell the shows that were made like that because they were all kind of weirdly desaturated, and that's the same thing with it. Like it just doesn't have any like punch to any of the color.
You're literally hitting it on the head. That's what it was. It felt flat to me. So that's why. And I'm not gonna go off about anime right now because I there's a very fine line anime that was traditionally colored and then digital, and that's when I kind of started veering off a little. Anyway, that's a whole different. That's for Otanime resurrected.
We just do. It'd be kind of fun. We just do like Otanime resurrect for just like one episode. Just to get those things out of us.
Yeah, right.
Where's Carlos?
Yeah, he's right there, man. He's hanging out. All right, next up, speaking about games with a kind of anime aesthetic. Final Fantasy Tactics is coming back, people. The Evil East Chronicles. This is so this is kind of cool. You get like a remastered, remakey type of version of it. Cleaned up graphics. They have voice acting now. Kind of remixed music. But you also get the original game. The War of the Alliance one specifically with all the extra content. So that's pretty cool. I want to check out because the only reason I didn't really get into Final Fantasy Tactics is I played the first one for the Lions, and there wasn't even the first level. It was the Prelude chapter. Took me 14 hours to beat because you had to do so much grinding. I'm like, this game is dope, but I don't want to keep playing this. This is too much. So hopefully, if they could tone that shit down. Because I really like the art style. I don't know the name of that artist. I always like this artist style from Square Enix. And I like the old English like dialogue they had. Thine this and all that shit. That was cool. But I'm like, I don't want to grind for I'm like, wait, if I have to grind that much for just the prelude, how much grinding do I have to do for the rest of the fucking game? Like, nope. But yeah, this one. Go ahead.
Yeah, that artist has worked on like. They also did Final Fantasy 8.
Not 8. Final Fantasy. He did
9. Final Fantasy 9. Final Fantasy 9, and then he did 12.
He did 12, and he also did
and Nier.
What's that other Square Enix game with the guy with the kind of weird spiky hair? Like no shirt. Vagrant Story. Final Fantasy 12 love that art style. The Final Fantasy 3 with the cute Kibi graphics that did on 3DS. Yeah. He did the art style for that as well. Good stuff.
Isn't he? He's not Bravely, is he?
Yes, he is. I believe he is.
He's Bravely.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, this game dropping this year, September 30th. So far we got a good mix. Games are coming out this year and this year. Mm-hmm. Here's another one that's coming out this year. And this is probably the strangest game they showed, even though we've known about this game. It's called Baby Steps. Where you basically have to I believe you have to use the analog sticks. That's the guy's like feet and move them around or something like that.
I thought it was the triggers.
Yeah, something like that. Some weird shit. I thought it was
the haptic triggers that you use them.
That's probably it. But either way, it's like you have to independently move his legs around.
Is it like that game where you play as a baby? Remember that game where you were a little baby?
Was it Quap or something?
No,
it was a horror game. Remember, it's like you have to try to get out.
No, it's not that one. It's like literally you're a guy who just like really he just doesn't walk right. You just have to use I feel like it's on the same level as the octopus game.
Octodad?
You know what I mean?
Octodad, yes.
Octodad, yeah, that game. Like it's sort of weird like that, where you're trying to control them with the physics. It's the same sort of idea.
Yeah. Reggie, don't worry. I don't have to prod Manny to talk about the art style of that game. He will do that on his own. Don't worry about that. He's like, I don't want Manny go in depth. We don't have to tell him. He will. Come on, got a professional artist. You think he's not gonna tell us? Come on now. But yeah, Baby Steps.
Who worked at the studio?
But yeah, Baby Steps, September 8th. So there you go. Fucking crazy. Another game that's coming out this year. It's called Hirogami. It's like a 3D action platforming game inspired by origami. So There you go.
It look. If you ever, I mean,
trash steps. Chase Shep.
Oh no. I for this one, it sort of remind. If you've ever seen the film Kubo, and it was a Lego film.
No.
Yeah.
I know Cujo. You know the dog.
Kubo, he has a he has like an origami samurai. So it sort of reminded me of that, where he had all the characters in the game are all these sort of origami creatures that you're fighting. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, so there you go. All right, yet another game that's coming out this year. Everybody's Golf, Hot Shots. So it is another one of these franchises. We don't care about it, but they keep making games.
I'll tell you this: it is a very Hot Shots Golf or Everybody's Golf.
Yeah,
is insane. It still holds water. They keep making those things, and they do really well for them. So,
golf itself making a comeback. I see all these commercials for golf and for golf camp and kids going golfing. I'm like, I guess it's a thing. I don't know. I didn't grow up with golf.
I was watching this with a friend, and he's like, you're gonna laugh, but I have like over 200 hours of playing this game.
Damn.
So he's in. He won't play some.
My man's locked in. You know.
Yeah.
Is that the one where you can ping off of things to get the ball in? Is that it? Like do trick shots, like you're on the roof and like, is that it?
No, it's not like that. I mean, to be honest, it's just a very, very light sort of golf game. Like, in other words, they're not like asking you to do too much. You know, the little bit of leeway. You know, you can charge up your shots.
Oh, like Mario Golf.
Yeah, like that sort of thing. That's a very sort of arcadey version of golf.
Pass. I just want Outlaw Golf. That was awesome. You know, fighting and all kinds of stuff. Everybody had nasty language and
Hey, Adam, remember the Wicked 13, the golf game that takes place in hell for 3DO?
What?
I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah, the Wicked 13.
Yep.
Look it up.
Wicked 13. I'll look it up.
Yeah, the only time I play golf in a video game is when it's a mini game in Yakuza. That's about it, you know. But yeah, there you go. This one's dropping September 5th. All right, this next game, which a lot of us are excited about, this is the game that's probably going to be coming out the soonest out of everything. Dropping July 31st. Ninja Gaiden Rage Bound, you know. I'm already there. I'm already like, Ninja Gaiden, that's all I need.
Dotemu is doing that
Dotemu,
one?
yeah, they are, yep.
They're doing that one, so yeah, good stuff. Looks cool.
Yeah.
Two Ninja games coming out this year is crazy.
There was a Ninja Theory or Team Ninja. One of them used to make those. What was it? Team Ninja.
Ninja Gaiden makes
they make
they make Ninja Gaiden Team Ninja. But you know, they're doing a throwback side scroller. My guess is they're also
I'll go for this one.
You know, the Genesis ones and stuff. Yeah.
I want that original one. Remember when you jump on the signs? It was like before Assassin's Creed where you can just like.
Yeah, that was dope. That's Ninja Gaiden, I'm there. Dio says that launches 2 days after his birthday. There you go, brother.
Oh,
yeah.
What you gonna do for your birthday, Dio?
Gotta know. I guess he'll let us know.
Stay as far away from the far away from the subway as possible.
Yeah, don't go to the subway.
He's gonna say, "I'm riding the trains."
Yeah,
I'm riding the trains.
All right. This next game also coming out this year, and there's a demo for it now. It's called I'm gonna mispronounce his name. Cairn. It's like a climbing game, like a mountain climbing game.
This one was shown before in one of the sizzle reels.
I don't remember that.
Which one.
It's a VR game?
No, it's not. It's just like you.
Because there was a VR one not too long ago that was like.
No, this one was just. It's just like you're. You know, my guess is it's probably the same thing where you sort of use the different things to sort of attach yourself to this mountain. You just climb it up. It's interesting idea.
Mountain climbing simulator. You know, like use a Hulk.
I mean, it also has. They also say in the thing, and they said this before too. It has a sort of survival aspect to it. So you know, you climb up the mountain,
like real mountain climbing. You could die.
It's too cold. I forgot to bring my pants.
Yeah, don't forget to take a shit. Before you climb the mountain.
See, that's the thing. They don't work in survival games.
Yeah, right.
Having to go to the bathroom.
I think some of them probably do,
eating.
right? Yeah.
You just keep
Pretty
eating.
sure Brett's played it.
Yeah, right. Brett's like, hold on, and blah, blah, blah. You got to take a shit every 2 hours.
Shit, you don't have to take
every 2 hours. That's some serious fiber.
Yeah, right.
You don't have to brush your teeth.
Yeah, right. Smelly and shit.
What game? There was one where you had to piss. Like it was a meter, and it would show you had to go. Oh, wasn't Bro Point. Remember they were trying to do the whole survival. Yeah, and they were trying to do that shit.
So like, would you have to?
It just fills up like the yellow in the corner.
So like, if you don't drink a lot, will you have to piss less? Is that how that works?
I rage quit that game, so I can't answer this question.
Point,
but I'm sure, it was so bad. And now it's a survival part, and I think eventually they took that out because then they wanted to go all in on it, and it just wasn't working. So,
yeah. By the way, so far this show actually has a pretty good track record for games coming out this year. Very interesting. But you notice the smaller games. The next game we're going to talk about is coming out this year, but the game I'm saving towards the end. We will finish it then, if you know what I mean. Come here. They actually showed hardware too, but I'll get to that a little bit later as well. Very interesting.
By the way, there was the question that happened when they first showed that piece of hardware. You're like, wait a minute, why are they doing this? Oh,
yeah.
We'll
but Manny, another game that's coming out this year, and we are excited about this one. Metal Gear
Solid.
Looks good. Again, I'm already at the point like I don't need to see anymore. I'm there. I'm already there.
Need to see. You don't really need to see anymore. Like right now, they just did a montage of all the bosses. So there's like you see the fear, the pain, the fear. You see Ocelot and all that stuff. So again, looks like the game is intact. As just looks really pretty now. They showed him in the water with the crocodile hat and all that good stuff.
So good stuff. Yeah.
They showed monkeys? A little bit. They showed Snake versus Monkey, which was the original was a crossover that they did on the first version of Metal Gear Solid 3. So if you bought Metal Gear Solid 3, you got Snake versus Monkey, which was an additional ape escape thing with the game. And if you completed it, you got the monkey mask, and then you got like the easy gun, and then you got the banana camo. So that should be the thing.
Banana
camo, which is a bunch of bananas on it. Anyway, they added something to it. It looks like whenever in the old one, as if you knocked out the monkey, you would just run next to it, and then it would just zap away. So now what it does is they have like he does like a goofy photo op with them. He he picks them up like, yay,
It's funny.
It's stupid.
Oh, good catch, Leo. I noticed this too. Manny, they showed Octo Camo in this. Did you notice that? What was that about? Yeah.
No. What that is.
Yeah, what is that?
Is very interesting. A lot of people say that if you notice, it was 3 characters that were like hidden and wearing these different things. People are thinking that this is a new Metal Gear Online.
Excuse me? Mm-hmm. Ooh. Because the original Metal Gear Solid 3 did have online.
Yes, the subsistence version of Metal Gear Solid 3 came with the first version of Metal Gear Online. So this is looking like, at least from the speculation, it's looking like they're also going to be relaunching Metal Gear Online. Perhaps a numbered one?
Huge.
Maybe it's Metal... Yeah. So definitely very interesting. And also one of the things that I had an issue with Metal Gear Online, which was, where's the sneaking?
Yeah.
Everybody's shooting the shit out of each other.
That's it, running around shooting each other.
Where's the ability to try to turn, to hide? So now it looks like they look like they're actually working in the hide mechanics from the game, but actually making it even, more interesting, where in other words, like if you're hiding near rocks, you look like, if your camo's good, it looks like you're rocks, or you look like you're trees.
That's cool. Yeah.
And they say more to come. So
more to come.
We don't know so we don't know what else they're going to announce. There's also one thing they haven't addressed, and this will maybe be addressed in the Summer Games Fest or the Xbox thing, because Snake versus Monkey can't exist on an Xbox or on a PC. Because Super Ape Escape belongs to PlayStation.
Yeah.
So what did they have instead of Snake versus Monkey, let's say on an Xbox? People are speculating it's Bomberman. So instead of getting the monkeys, you're going to be getting Bomberman.
Wear that camo anyway. Come on now. That doesn't make any sense.
What's that?
Isn't the camo that's what you're talking about? You said the banana camo and an Ape Escape and that whole thing?
Yeah, the camo doesn't make any
sense. But that's what I'm saying. Who exactly? But does it matter? I don't know if anyone's gonna wear that. I mean,
but it's fun. That's the point.
It's fun and stupid.
It's fun.
Like you get
that's
like
the point.
It was like it's a novelty. But as I remember, the banana camo also had a side ability where because in Metal Gear Solid 3 you have a stamina gauge that gets drained by you moving or if you're hungry. So if you're wearing that costume, your stamina doesn't go down.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
That's better.
But you can be seen incredibly easily. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're wearing a fucking banana suit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, you want to make this game harder for yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could theoretically put that thing on and then you could run through. If you're good enough, you could just beat the shit out of everybody and wear that stupid outfit.
And never get hungry.
So, and never get hungry.
Yeah.
Or waste any stamina.
There you go. Yeah. So there's the benefit.
There's a benefit to it.
Yeah. So good stuff. All right. Another one. Now, this game is coming out next year. And I'm surprised I didn't hear more people talk about it. Like, this should be a big deal to some people. Neo 3. Not an offsuit.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a brand new Neo game.
Neo game. Yeah.
And it looks pretty good.
Under the radar. Like, look, the bosses look pretty crazy.
Yeah. But again, the game we're going to be talking about just overshadowed everything. But like, I'm surprised. I'm like, this would normally be big fucking news, But yeah, no, the bosses look really cool. I think they got Tokugawa at the end. I'm like, okay, historical figure, so pretty cool stuff. Pretty much in the vein of a Souls-like, if you will.
I wonder if
go ahead, bro.
I wonder if he's interested in this game after his.
Yeah, because he said he's not playing these games anymore. No more Souls-likes and no more Monster Hunters.
Who said this?
Riku-san.
Riku.
He's only playing JRPGs now.
Damn.
And truly frozen.
And by that I mean he's only playing Trails in the Sky games.
So I mean he's still playing.
He's only
playing
one
right?
RPG.
Yeah, he's still playing. Yeah,
Warriors,
he's still playing that because it's Dynasty Warriors. That's his like foundational game, Like I don't know if you remember that story, Adam. Like the way his friend got him to try other franchises was lying to him, like, "Hey, this game's like Dynasty Warriors," even if it had nothing to do with it. Because Riku would be like, "Oh, Dynasty Warriors, I'll play it." Oh man, so be like, "Hey, Final Fantasy, it's just like Dynasty Warriors," or some shit like that. But yeah, Neo look good. Yeah. All right. Here we got VR game because VR games. It's a new Thief game. I was very disappointed. I'm like, I want a new Thief game, but I don't want it to be VR. But it is coming out this year. So J-Shep, there you go. You need some VR games, don't you, bro? Oh man. Yeah. Oh, guys in the chat are saying, "Fuck Neo, man. We want that Onimusha." Maybe that's what it is.
Yes.
That's funny.
Real Neo, Path of Neo.
That's
that
coming.
Was a good one.
Onimusha's coming.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
It's coming.
Why not both?
Why not both? All right, here we go. Another game for next year. It's called Tides of Tomorrow. This one did not leave an impression on me because I don't even remember what the hell it was.
It was a pirate. It's a pirate game, but all the people look like they're made of wood.
Okay. It literally went over my head. And fucking GameStop is sending out a trailer for it.
It was only just a CG trailer. But yeah, it just looks like you're it's a pirate game, but they're using like southern like country western music.
No, man, you're thinking about you're kind of skipping ahead.
I'm skipping ahead. Oh,
yeah,
okay. Which one was this one?
Okay, the one you're talking about because there's two C games here.
Oh, this is the Journey game.
No, right? That's a little bit later. That's excuse me. There's 3 C games in his fucking presentation.
Okay. All right.
This one looks like I don't know what the hell this is. Like cyberpunk. I don't know what this is. Because again, the article I'm looking at is just a still shot. Let me look at a trailer. I'm guessing they leave an impression on anybody here. See, Tides of Tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, this one was like, it looked like futuristic underwater game.
Is that what it is?
I saw a little bit of that. It looked like Sunset Overdrive.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It left no impression.
Okay,
first person. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it is like very colorful.
Yeah, like Sunset Overdrive. He's parkouring all over an oil rig or something. Yeah, it's like Sunset Overdrive.
J Shep says it looks like Sea of Thieves type animation. I guess I'm not interested, so we'll leave that one alone. Nobody in the panel seems to be either. All right. Next one, Manny Astrobot getting some new levels.
Yeah, they showed they're going to be putting more levels, and they revealed the Ghost of Yote character, so she's going to be in there now. So, I mean, and she's going to have her little wolf buddy,
little dog. Yeah, the wolf. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah,
I'm wondering if that's if she's got like a companion, like. They haven't shown any real gameplay of it, have they?
No, not yet. We're gonna get gameplay in July. They said.
Okay, so so it looks like you have like a buddy, like a wolf buddy in the game. So maybe you could just
sick
send
them.
it
That's
out
all
to
I
kill
want.
people.
If I ever have a pet, I want to go sick them. That's all I can.
Yeah,
that would be cool. All right, so there you go, Astrobot. When is that going to be available?
That one is coming real soon.
July.
Astrobot
stuff. All right, cool. July. And then Manny, as you were mentioning.
Hopefully they'll get Cloud in there. Everybody's like, "Where the fuck is Cloud? Where's Tifa?"
There you go, Manny. Sea of Revenants. You already talked about. It's a pirate game. They're fighting against a giant lobster. It looks like.
Yeah, they're like wooden people. They're like made of they look like they're made of carved wood.
Yeah.
It's interesting looking, but I don't know what to expect from it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we're doing pirates again.
Yeah. 2026. Yeah.
Whatever happened? That'll probably come up later. No, I was just thinking about it because the one pirate game that we kept hearing about for the longest, it was just making its return, was Black Flag. Remember, it was like, oh, they got a remaster coming in. They got this.
They didn't talk about it here.
So I'm thinking maybe probably during
Xbox. Yeah, that's a good.
Game Fest and the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So
Gio says giant enemy crab. Yeah, hit the weak spot for massive damage.
And the gnoids.
Yeah, remember that from that E3? Hit the weak spot for massive damage. It's a giant enemy crab.
Yeah, but it was like they were saying like the game goes into tries to recreate history accurately, and then the next one he's like fight the giant enemy crab.
Yeah. This game is based on true historical events. Fight a giant enemy crab. That was a wild E3, man. Was it not the one? No, that was a later E3 where it had Konami won Myrian troops.
Myrian troops.
Remember that?
Okay.
And then nobody said anything. He's like, 1 Myrian troops. Oh man!
Tak Fuji.
Fucking legend, man.
Yeah. That guy's still making games. He's not making the same waves as he did back, but
it's funny.
He's still making games.
Yeah. And man, you brought this up too. New game from Abzu. Sword of the Sea. It looks like Journey.
It looks like Journey, but like you're like on the main character's like, instead of like just sliding everywhere, it's like he's like surfing on a sword.
Yeah,
and he does kick flips and shit. So you can do like kick flips and all kinds of stuff with the silly sword, and then it's your weapon.
Pretty cool. Dropping this year too, August 19th.
I want to play that.
It looks really good. I want to try that one as well. All right, here's one of the because we're getting towards the end of the show. Now this is where the bombs start dropping. The 007 game by IO Interactive. Looks very nice. I mean, like you said, I'll let you seem to know more about this than I do. It looks like they're basing this James Bond off of the book James Bond, right? A little bit.
Well, at least judging by the big scar that James has on his face, because in the original books he has like a big scar on his face, and he's not. Granted, they're still they use the Her Majesty's Secret Service theme in this.
Yeah,
but they're sort of obviously it's sort of being like a reboot of James Bond sort of thing, but maybe trying to be a little bit closer to the books. And which is good. Like you want to see, granted, the books Bond wasn't nearly that quippy.
Yeah,
he's a little bit more down to business. The Daniel Craig one was probably the closest to book Bond, like personality wise.
Yeah,
maybe not so much. His look. Blonde haired guy.
Yeah, that was off. Yeah,
but also Bond was also not like a super, he's supposed to be like a super looker, like he had a hard face, but he wasn't like as handsome as, let's say, some of the other Bond.
The thing about Bond that some people don't seem to understand, even with his name, he's supposed to be a guy that kind of just blends into the background. Like Ian Fleming said, I named him James Bond because that's a boring name. He's supposed to be a guy that kind of doesn't stand out, but he could do a lot of extraordinary things.
So maybe that explains why he's got the Gennaro face.
Yeah. He's supposed to be like guy. I know he's an actor. He looks like, because Ian Fleming drew what he thinks James Bond should look like. This guy looks like that drawing.
I remember the drawing looking a little bit more gaunt. Like he looked.
Yeah,
like
this guy looks kind of gaunt too. Like kind of skinny.
No, but I mean, like he had like shape to his face. Like he had like cheekbones and all that sort of stuff. There's that one image that they keep throwing all over the place. But if that's the idea, if he's supposed to be just this sort of like every guy, like he just blends in everywhere, okay, I guess it works with that guy that they chose. But I just looked at it and said, man, he just looks like they took all the edges off of Nathan Drake. Like if you took Nathan Drake and then just smoothed him out and said, all right, there's your Bond.
Yeah,
voice actor is from Dexter. He's the young Dexter.
He's I thought he was Dexter's brother, right?
Dexter's it's young Dex from the not because they got so many spinoffs. The most recent spinoff where they go back when he was younger. There is a younger version of Dexter. It's that actor who's doing the voice. Rich pointed it out. He was like, "Oh, I looked this guy up. It's the guy we watched. There's a origin to whatever it was called. I forget.
It looks like the guy. Granted, it does look a little even less like him. Like it looks like him but doesn't. But that said, as much of as I'm complaining about the design of the character, I would have to say is out of any studio that could make
IO Interactive, game,
IO Interactive, like they literally are making James Bond games with the bald guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
The Hitman, all the Hitman ones.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Chris, what do you say? Because you're a big Hitman guy. Like, what do you think
You're the resident Bond man,
and you also like James Bond. So, what do you think about this? One of your favorite game developers, one of your favorite franchises. What do you think of this?
I mean, it looks good. It probably surprised me like Indiana Jones did, because my initial impression was like, oh, here we go with the, the diversity. That's like M, the Money Penny. Everybody besides Q is diverse.
Yes,
I'll say it like that. And then so Bond kind of sticks out in his own world, but it looked very interesting. It looks like it's focused on him, and I really hope it does that. It seems like he's starting over, like he's young and brash, because they go on about all this stuff and his first mission in Iceland and all this stuff, his career in the Navy. So it's like, okay, he's a hot shot. He's a maverick. He takes chances, and he's not polished yet. So that's good. So they're restarting him, and I like where that's going. So I hope, because there was no gameplay in there.
No,
there's just a lot of like CG shots, and so I need to see gameplay. But I like what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, it looks good. But we have to wait until 2026. Hopefully, we'll get more gameplay during Summer Game Fest. But I'm interested. Like you said, Hitman is pretty much James Bond, just without the charm. We also got a little brief taste of Ghost of Yote. The thing was just basically there to tell us, hey, we got more coming in July. It was a tease of a tease, basically.
A tease for a tease.
But we got to see a wolf, wolf. That's
cool. We got to see a rendered wolf. So I'm wondering, with the Astrobot announcement, she had that wolf with her, and then this one she has a wolf. So I'm wondering, is that the new gameplay thing? Does she have this wolf thing that's with her? It's gonna be her.
I think it would offset things because again, just having a regular woman doing samurai shit wouldn't seem very believable. If you have a big wolf helping out, that kind of evens things out. I would think, But I guess we'll find out more because again, we haven't seen gameplay yet.
It's in this one also. It's like the previous game was all about wind. So what is the thing in this one? Is it going to be wind again? I don't know.
Good question. All right. So again, now we're going to go back to some of the stuff we kind of skipped over. We got to see a brief glimpse of hardware here. Kind of surprising, but also not. Shouldn't be. PlayStation is finally going to release its own dedicated fight stick. Right now, it doesn't have a proper name. It's just called Project Defiant. This thing... usually fight sticks, they come with Sanwa parts. Those are the parts that come in standard arcade sticks from Japan. This is other parts. These are Sony's own parts, it seems, at least for the arcade stick. But it does come with its own restrictor gates. It comes in the package, which is nice. Because Sanwa restrictor gates have 4 edges. The old school American ones have 8 edges. That's the ones I kind of like. But interestingly, and this stood out right away. I'm like, those buttons, they're not Sanwa buttons. They're actually mechanical buttons, on the leverless controllers, basically keyboard, keys and stuff. No, not key, the key, the switches, keyboard switches, but with buttons over them, And because I'm like, that's kind of thin looking, but they said you could pretty much put everything in there. You could put extra key switches. You could put the cable, but this thing's also utilizing the same technology, wireless technology that Sony's headsets use. It's PlayStation Link, I believe it's called. So they claim it's reduces latency and stuff. But, obviously if you want, you could plug it in. And what's also cool about this, because every third-party arcade stick, you cannot turn your PlayStation on with it. You have to turn your PlayStation on with a controller and then turn on the fight stick. This one, since it's a proper PlayStation controller, press the PS button and you're good, go ahead.
So other things about this controller, and it makes sense that they would make this controller, because they actually own Evo.
They own Evo,
so they actually had a bunch of the Evo guys chiming in on and that's working on this as well.
So no release date for this thing, although I'm going to bring this up later. I suspect it'll probably be next year for a little reason we're going to get to in a bit. But this controller, you might be able to use it with this next game that was announced. This one, it's funny. I tweeted about this in January, right? Because, we've had the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. We had the CVS collection. And I was like, man, where the fuck is a Mortal Kombat collection? Because the last bunch of Mortal Kombat games I really haven't cared for. But I'm like, where's the old school shit? Where's the Mortal Kombats I grew up with, right? We're getting
that is a phenomenal question.
So yeah, again, this came out of nowhere. They right at the beginning they were like, "Hey, this is coming from a studio that's all about game preservation, Digital Eclipse," and they showed Street Fighter Anniversary Collection, Cowabunga Collection, the Atari Collection. I'm like, ooh, what's all this about? And then they showed the arcade. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Remember, I'm in the office watching this, right? I'm like, oh, what's happening here, And then, when you hear, come here, you see the fucking dragon. Dude, I'm at my desk. I'm fucking stomping on it. I'm like, oh, shit, Mortal Kombat, And here's the thing. This is one of those things where, you go like, oh, man, I really wish I had, like a Ferrari. I really wish somebody would give me a Ferrari. And they're like, I'll give you a Ferrari and a motherfucking aircraft carrier, bitch. Because you're getting that. You're not only getting the original Mortal Kombat games, you're getting all of them. You get the Super Nintendo version, Sega Genesis, 32X in some cases, Game Boy. They went ham. So this is going to be, as a matter of fact, I'm running through all the fucking games that are in this. So we got Mortal Kombat, the original one. Remember Mortal Monday? Mortal Kombat! Yep. So we're getting the arcade version, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Game Boy, Game Gear, Mortal Kombat 2, arcade, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Game Boy 32X, choosing Mortal Kombat 3, arcade, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Ultimate Mortal Kombat. You only get 2 of those, arcade and Super Nintendo. Didn't that game come out on Genesis too? Very interesting.
Which one? Mortal Kombat 3?
Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3.
They're not putting Mortal Kombat 3 in there?
Mortal Kombat 3 is there.
Did they mention the PlayStation one in that?
There's no PlayStation ones in this.
Well, that's missing.
Yeah, but
the PlayStation version of Mortal Kombat 3.
Yeah, but there's something else here. Mortal Kombat 4 is in this. I don't think that's ever been released on anything else but arcade. Remember that with that scary dude and shit on the side of the arcade cabinet?
What's his name? Karnak or what the fuck's that?
I forgot.
Name?
I never played that fucking game. I was like, what is this?
He was always played by the dude who plays Kano.
Yeah, Kang Chi or something. Dio, you could tell us,
Kwai Chang.
His name is Kwai Chang? Something like something like that. Yeah. Mortal Kombat Dead.
What else is missing?
Who?
Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero.
Well, again, we'll see. Deadly Alliance.
Get that trash out of here.
Not the 3D game, but the Game Boy Advance game, and Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition Game Boy Advance. But here's the thing. Under that, it says question mark, because they were like, this is a Mortal Kombat game. It's all about secrets. So there's other things here. So people are already speculating like, oh, what's in this? Like they think Mortal Kombat Gold may be here. Ultimate Mortal Kombat, or excuse me, Mortal Kombat Trilogy. People really want Trilogy. So maybe that's in there. But yeah, if this collection, and I'm going to be specific about this, if this is on the level of the Kawabanga collection, this is going to be fucking legit. They're going to have documentaries into this shit. The things show that. And this is the part I want to get to, because this is what really got me excited. At the very end of the trailer, you see Ed Boon and motherfucking John Tobias, right? John Tobias, he had left Mortal Kombat for a while. He came back for 9, then left again. And notice on Mortal Kombat 9, that brought shit back to what it was supposed to be. Then it fell off again, right? So this is I posted on Twitter, this is my Tony Wild theory, right? Mortal Kombat 1, fucking stupid. The latest game is called Mortal Kombat 1, right? That game did not do very well. It was not well received. It was very off the mark, right? So my conspiracy theory is that they're bringing they begged John Tobias, please come back, help us right this ship. Because remember, WB said one of their pillar games is Mortal Kombat. And this motherfucking game lost them a lot of money. So maybe they're like, we got to get the band back together. Let's get Mortal Kombat back to what it's supposed to be. So that's my hope. I really hope that's, because it could have just been, hey, out of respect, show up in this documentary and that's the end of it, right? But yeah.
It could just be that.
It could be that, but my hope, get John Tobias back and we'll get Mortal Kombat correct, because they did a really good job with Mortal Kombat 9. Mortal Kombat 9, you can't even get that. It's like, for a while, Mortal Kombat seems like they wanted to not acknowledge their past. It's like, for them, Mortal Kombat started with Mortal Kombat 10. I'm like, what about the stuff people want? So I'm excited about that. It's dropping this year, so we'll definitely be getting into that for sure. I can't wait.
Get over here.
Yeah, get over here. And then the last game we're going to talk about, this was the showstopper. I dare say this is the biggest fucking announcement of the year. Nobody saw this coming, bro. Holy shit. Although now I can actually say I actually did get a heads up about this game the day before. Such a heads up that I didn't tell any of you guys. I didn't want to ruin it. I only told Rich. He was the only one. I'm like, Rich, this is coming, And I kind of wish I wasn't told. I'm like, this, because usually when people tell me, yo, this is going to be announced, I'm like, tell me, because there's never anything mind blowing. It's always something cool. I'm like, when I heard this, I'm like, wait, what? And the person who told us me, because they're not a big fighting game person, they was like, oh yeah, so it's a Marvel fighting game. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, oh yeah, I'm like, who's making it? I'm like, oh yeah, that company that makes Guilty Gear. I'm like, wait,
what?
Wait, what? Arxis.
You essentially had that Maximilian dude reaction, like where you're talking to this guy.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. Oh, No, I could at least still speak. Maximilian was gone. Like he short circuited. I don't know if you saw the other stream, Manny. He got a nosebleed off of that shit. He got so excited. He is like, oh God. He's like, oh, I was like, I got a nosebleed now. He got so excited, specifically when he was like speculating about the future. But anyway, if you guys saw it, the trailer starts, some Japanese voiceover, like Sony Entertainment. Like, okay, Sony, cool. Oh, that's interesting. They're using like, comic book drawing paper. Cool. Arc System Works. Like, ooh, cool. And then you see the shield. You're like, wait. That's what the reaction was like. Wait. It's Captain America. And then you see Iron Man and then fucking over. So yeah, this is called Marvel GameStop. Oh, excuse me, GameStop. You misspelled it. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. So yeah, brand new fighting game from Arc System Works. Obviously the Guilty Gear guys teaming up with Marvel. And here's the cool thing. Marvel, so I think it was Sony, right? Who came to who with this? Because they had a little documentary after the fact.
It was like Sony. It was like Sony. Yeah, it was like somebody at Sony.
Yeah, I believe Sony was like, hey, Marvel, we think these guys would be a good fit. And apparently, the original version of this game, the Guilty guys, they were like, they had a shader for it that made it look more like a comic book, like a Western comic book. And Marvel was like, no, do your thing. We want an ArcSys game. It's like, okay, we'll do just that. And this looks fucking insane. There's a lot of speculation after the fact, but I want to talk about this trailer specifically. Okay, and it's funny, Manny, you mentioned Maximilian. About a month ago, he had a video out saying that he thinks tag fighting games have stagnated. He's like, they need something to kick them in the gear. And he just said for fun, he's like, maybe somebody will do something crazy, like a 4v4 tag game. He's like, but no one's going to be crazy enough to do that. These guys did it. A 4v4 tag fighting game. I know some people will be like, wait, Tony, but you could have a team of 4 and, CVS1. Yeah, a team of 4, but it's not tag. You can't tag them in whenever you want, So I'm very curious to see how the controls are going to be. They claim that, it's going to be like, it's going to have traditional controls, but simplified ones. Because I'm like, you're going to need at least 3 buttons to call your other characters in, And also they said, if you want to just stick with one character, you can just have the other characters as assists, or you can just call them in whenever you want. In the trailer right now, we only saw 8 characters, but I'm assuming it's going to be a big roster. And Manny, as you said, because I thought this too, I'm like, wait, 4? We got a movie coming out with a team of 4.
They're going to put the Fantastic Four in there.
Manny, the Fantastic Four have not been in any fighting game.
No.
None.
Have never been in any of the Marvel fighting games. Well, maybe some of the other goofy side ones or whatever.
Yeah, but the proper ones, no.
This will be no. So, this will be interesting.
Yeah, if you've seen any of the behind the scenes stuff for like Marvel's Capcom 3, all 4 members almost made it, but something happened at the end. They were like, "Oh, the Thing's too much like Hulk. Reed Richards too much like Super Skrull. Johnny Storm having a guy on fire might be weird. We don't know what the hell to do with Sue Storm." Some bullshit always happened, But I think this one, I think it's going to happen. This is basically Marvel versus Marvel, bro. This is crazy.
Yeah, I also the thing is, like, if you notice all the roster of the characters that they already have, you can kind of see the sort of MCU, connection, right? You have Star-Lord, you have Spider-Man, you have Iron Man, obviously Captain America, you have
Kamala Khan,
Miss Marvel, who just had a show. So my guess is there's going to be a lot of very familiar people, kind of like the way Marvel Rivals is right now too, where it's very sort of familiar sort of characters that might appear in there. Who knows? Maybe they'll end up putting what's his face in there.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I know because I really want to talk about
Soldier.
Yeah, I really want to talk about the art style, but I do want to answer something J Shep asked me in the Discord earlier today, because he doesn't really know about this stuff. He wanted to know, why is it such a big deal that Arc System Works is doing a Marvel game? It's pretty kind of simple, and obviously I want you guys to chime in. Capcom has pretty much been the only company that's done Capcom fighting games for 30 years, right? We thought with the release of Marvel vs. Capcom last year, the collection, we're like, okay, they're getting the ball rolling. So to suddenly just have Arc System Works do shit, okay, and for Arc System Works, right? Again, if you don't know them, their pedigree is, they kind of got on the map because of Guilty Gear, but what brought them to the normie consciousness was the Dragon Ball game, Dragon Ball Fighters, right? And that obviously helped the next Guilty Gear blow the fuck up. Arc System Works is like, they're pretty up there. Like if you're talking about fighting games, you can't ignore them. Like they're big,
They have been around for years. They've done all kinds of licensed games. Like they did a Fist of the North Star fighting game. Years ago, they did quite a bit of other fighting games. They did the Persona Arena fighting game that came out a while ago. So they've always been in the fighting game genre, creating these very stylized, very strongly stylized games. And that was the big deal about them when they released Guilty Gear Xrd.
Yeah.
Where it was a game, it was a 3D fighting game, because they were known for doing 2D 2D fighting games. It was a 3D fighting game that looked at almost exactly like their 2D offerings. The only difference is that you'd be like, all of a sudden they do a thing where they're zooming into the character. It's like, wait, it's not 2D? Yeah, so that's the big thing. And then they brought that same idea over into Fighter Z, Fighters, and then again from that, if you've ever played the game Grand Blue Fantasy Versus or the sequel, again, that same sort of idea. There's also DNX Duel, which is another one of their
think
games.
so,
again, they have they make very stylized fighting games that could almost pass for 2D animated fighting games.
Yeah, and I want to get to that in a bit, but Deshep, think about it like this, right? In fighting games, you kind of have the big three. You have Capcom, Bandai Namco, and NetherRealm, right? Guilty Gear, you could arguably say they're the fourth one, right? So imagine the fourth place guy taking something from the first place guy that the first place guy has been known for Marvel fighting games. Suddenly the fourth place guy is like, oh no, we're doing this now, so that's why it's a big fucking deal, a very huge. Go ahead.
Some would also say that that the Guilty Gear games were also somewhat inspired by the Marvel games.
They are. That's the other thing.
Those games, they had super jumps, and they did a lot of the very similar controls to those types of games. That sort of crazy, energy that those Marvel games had. So out of all, I've been saying for years, they need to do like something. Like I would love to. I was always saying, hey, they need to really do like take on Darkstalkers. That's like a really Arc System Worksy type.
Arc System Works basically made a Marvel versus Capcom game with the Dragon Ball game. That was a big, crazy tag fighting game. So for them to do this, not only them to do a tag fighting game, but to up the ante with 4 characters, it's fucking nuts. This is why you see this is why you see the FGC just losing its shit right now. But I because I love this shit. Because when I first saw the trailer, I'm like, oh shit, Dark System Works. We get that art style with Marvel. Yes and no. There's some instances of what they do, but it's different. So Manny, I want you to get into that, like the way they're doing animations in this game.
Oh yeah, so this one obviously definitely the characters are very much Japanese inspired. I mean, literally Iron Man looks like a Gundam.
Yes,
right. He looks like a Gundam. So yeah, for the animation style, which leads me to believe maybe that's probably why this game is maybe coming so what it seems like fairly quickly, is that in the way Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Fighters, and Guilty Gear, and a lot of their titles they treat their animations as what they call as keyframes. that's how you get that animation style. Like, in other words, you're specifically posing everything as opposed to letting the computer fill in the in-betweens between a punch. So like they'll do, instead of like for tweened animation, which is animation that fills in the space, you just put your hand here, and you put your object in one position, and then you put it into the last position, and then it fills whatever's in between. So the way they were doing their previous games is that they were specifically posing every single animation, which is a crazy time-consuming thing. And in fact, if you ever saw their GDC talk, they said that they're doing the process of doing Guilty Gear Xrd is an exhaustive process, because it's almost like doing hand animation but without actually drawing. Because again, you're posing every single frame. You're doing all the smear frames, which is those giant like motion blurs that are drawn. So for this game, though, it looks like they're doing something a little bit different. It looks like they're doing more. They're letting the computer letting the computer essentially fill in the in-betweens between their motions. So they're not so much, they're doing the keyframes, which is the first frame and then the last frame, and then they're letting it fill in the space, which makes the animation look a lot smoother, but it also makes it look a little less like it's like hand animated. So a good example of this would actually be the game Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
If you look at that game, they're very expressive animations that they do in it. Very nice animations, but they're all very, tweened, very sort of computer in between filled in. So it makes the animation look smoother. But that's the thing. The key to making things look like actual hand-drawn animation or that sort of anime style is actually the limited animation that they do to make the to animate as an animator. So,
yeah. And one thing, again, because we keep bringing it up because he's the biggest fighting game out there. Maximilian, he's also, he's done like art and fight, in games, right? He's a art, like not an art director, but he's worked in animation and stuff. He explained some of what you just said too in this video, and he also added that these characters are not as detail rich as like a Grand Blue or a Guilty Gear, which, and he said it's like this is they're probably like that, so they can just get this game out,
Nope, that's exactly it. I think they may have had a truncated time.
Yeah.
So, and obviously they can't spend the time that they would on a Grand Blue or a Guilty Gear or a Dragon Ball or a Guilty Gear games, any one of their normal titles.
Yeah. No, so AI is not filling, Manny, real quick, because this is important. AI is not filling in the space.
No. Here's the thing, like the way, this is the way animation has been, CG animation has been done for years. What it's not AI, but it's really what is you're setting the first and the last frame of an animation in CG, and what it does is it essentially fills in the in-betweens. So in other words, you tell it, okay, hey, this is where you start and this is where you're going to end. Now fill in whatever's in there. It's not really AI. It's really just more like, filling in betweens, and you set how many frames it is in between. So if you decide to do a fast motion, it's less frames of animation, and you set your final frame closer, and it'll fill in whatever's in there. It's not AI. It's all been, it's as old as Toy Story, let's just say.
Yeah, that's how CG has always been.
That's how CG has always been made. Where, in other words, because in order to animate something like a 3D character, frame by frame by frame by frame, just like stop motion, right? That's the best way to sort of think of CG animation. It's like stop motion, but if you could fill in the in-betweens and make that motion look smoother.
Yeah, pretty much. So. But yeah, going back to the other point, yeah, that you it's just funny because you didn't see the Maximilian video, but he said the same thing you just did, where it's like
he sees that shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he knows.
Yeah, he knows. Yeah, he's like, this is how they save time, But yeah, so very excited about this. Real quick, J Step goes, has Sony ever had a partnership with Arc System Works in the past? Why do you think Sony chose Arc? Here's the thing. I wouldn't say that official partnership, but Guilty Gear games have historically just always come out on PlayStation. Matter of fact,
they've been PlayStation exclusives.
Yeah, they have. I just checked right now. Strive is the first, not the first, because remember that weird Guilty Gear game that was like a strategy game? Guilty Gear 2, that was on Xbox, but other than that, Guilty Gear Strive is the only game that came out on Xbox. Every other Guilty Gear game, even the XR games, all PlayStation exclusives. You know?
Yeah, even the original first PlayStation. Well, no, the with the exception of the Dreamcast,
they came out on PC though. Some of these, yeah.
Yeah, but what was it? Guilty Gear X.
Yeah,
that was a Dreamcast exclusive.
Yes, it was
originally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then but originally it started on PlayStation. Guilty Gear was a PlayStation fighting game.
Yeah, and he also asked why did Sony choose them? One of them. I mean, these could both be wrong, but I think it's like they have a very distinctive art style that doesn't look like the other guys. And let's just be honest, they're probably cheaper than Capcom. You know?
Yeah, they're probably cheaper. They're probably cheaper than Capcom, and then their art, it looks they have a specific way of working, and I think that's what really attracted them. And they also
did a good job with Dragon Ball game. They were like, hey, these guys know how to handle IPs.
They can handle an IP, but then again, they've handled IP before. Again, like I said, they did a Fist of the North Star game. They did Persona.
Yep.
So they've done these titles before. I think, and then I also have to point out, granted, they've said that doing those sorts of animations takes a really long time, but Arc System Works also has a fairly even clip. Like their games come out relatively quick.
Yeah, they do.
Like after they lost the Guilty Gear franchise to Sega Sammy when Sega and Sammy merged. They went right off the bat and did Blaze Blue.
Yep.
And that came out relatively quick. So they say that these things take a long time, which they do, but they keep them pretty tight. Like right now, if we're talking about releases of fighting games, they not only released Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, but not long after that, they released Guilty Gear, the last Guilty Gear
Strive,
game.
yeah.
You released Guilty Gear Strive, and then before that, they had done Fighter Z. They're fairly quick at doing these things.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in that same amount of time, Capcom has released 2 fighting games. Capcom, they wouldn't be able to turn this game around fast. So that's the other reason. But no, this is exciting stuff. 2026, we have to wait. And that fight stick, I guarantee you, is going to have a proper name, and it's going to debut with this game. You know, yeah.
I think it's going to debut with the game too. I mean, as cool. Side note, as cool as a fight stick is, man, I would love to get a nice 6-button controller.
They really should release a D-pad. Like a fight pad. That would be great. You know, so Sony,
like a
fight,
like a light fight pad. Yeah. Sony.
Come on, listen, man. They should.
PlayStation.
As far as I'm concerned, hit the trifecta. Do the fight stick. If that does well, do the fight pad, do the leverless, hit them all. Get everybody, you know. And if you're running Evo, you should have something for everybody, you know.
They're running. They have them. They have the most, the fighting game tournament.
Yep.
They own it.
They own it. It's theirs.
Why not have an exclusive fighting game and exclusive controllers?
Yeah. So it's like you got one controller. Just keep it going.
Maybe if you go to Evo. Maybe when that game comes out, it gets revealed at Evo, and you can buy a special Evo version of that controller.
Yeah.
Or special Capcom version. Marvel version of that keyboard.
Yeah.
Fight stick.
But yeah, what the rest of you guys think of the Marvel fighting game?
I was like, pour one out for Marvel vs. Capcom. That dream is over. That's never gonna happen. At least in our more recent lifetimes, we're gonna be old men if that ever comes to fruition.
Yeah. No, you're right. Just going 100% right. Yeah.
Just going back to the one of the theories of why Arc System Works was tasked for this, I feel like it's, and this is just a tinfoil hat for me. Chris passed it on to me today. So
you know,
I feel like the reason why they use Arc System Works is because they didn't want Marvel didn't want a Marvel versus Capcom game. If they had Capcom do a Marvel game, they're like, well, why don't you just do Marvel versus Capcom? But I think Marvel is in a position where, you know, they're a little bit of hubris with Marvel Rivals, but you know, also with the MCU is one of the things that's been prominent since Marvel vs. Capcom has been, you know, a franchise. It's like, well, we just want Marvel, you know, fighters in our game. So I think that might be one of the reasons why Arc System Works. And besides their track record, which is, you know, pretty top notch. So I feel like that's one of the reasons. And it's sad because, you know, we've talked about it for years about, you know, it's like, you know, Capcom is slowly but surely the last decade coming back. Oh, we have a good Devil May Cry game. Resident Evil is back. Monster Hunter is taking over the world. Street Fighter is finally back. We're waiting on 2 Infinity Stones.
Yeah,
we're waiting on Marvel vs. Capcom, and we're waiting.
I'm still waiting for Deep Down.
No, not Deep Down. Not Deep Down. Mega Man is the other one. Mega Man's the other one.
Yeah, Mega Man. Yes.
Marvel vs. Capcom is officially dead. The Infinity Gauntlet is going to be missing a stone for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, so, no, you're 100% right, Carlos. And that's one of the things that the FGC has lamented. You're like, fuck, we're not going to be getting up MBC4, are we? No, you're not. No, you're not. You know, because, Carlos, if this game does well, I think they might make another one. I mean, granted, Dragon Ball did well. They didn't make another one, so we'll see. But, yeah, if at least 10 years, we're not going to get one, I think, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Be very interesting, just for old time's sake. You know how all these fighting games are doing crossovers and all kinds of stuff. What if they did do that for old time's sake?
Capcom X Guilty Gear.
What if they threw? You know, obviously put a sole bad guy in there, right? That'd be fun. But what if they threw in Ryu?
Oh shit! Could you imagine that? Like they threw Ryu into this bitch.
Yeah, they threw Ryu in there because it's like, you know, okay, we're not getting it, right? But the thing about it is that they're all about, you know, crossing over and doing cross-pollination. Who's to say that they won't work in maybe somebody, you know, some character in there, you know, that the fighting game community loves. And obviously, you know, you could stick in maybe a couple of other things in there, but that would be fun, right?
It's a good, and as we know, Manny, Capcom's not against that stuff. They've been putting those Street Fighters in a lot of games lately, you know?
Yeah. We got Ken already coming to Fatal Fury.
Ken and Chun-Li are coming to Fatal Fury, you know? And they're in, how many Street Fighters are in Fortnite? Marvel Rivals is popping off. But I will say, going back to what you were saying, Manny, this game was in development for a while, though. You know, it's like it doesn't look like this. It's interesting. It's like they released Marvel vs. Capcom collection, but this shit was already in development too. So they already knew, Capcom, we're not going to work with you, you know?
I would say probably a 3-year.
Yeah.
Maybe a 3-year. Maybe 4 years, you know, if we're counting there.
Yeah. Carlos, you seen the memes though, bro?
But man, they got...
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Carlos, I want to talk about those memes. They're funny, man.
Yo, man, it's like, and not only they're funny, they were out instantly the moment this happened, while it was happening during the state of play. Yo, man, there's a lot of good memes. I have a question though.
Yeah.
How deep is this roster going to be? Did they even say anything about that?
We don't know yet. What do you? I want to talk about that. How many characters do you think it's going to have at launch? You know, because I think at a bare minimum, it's gonna have to be like 30-something characters, you know?
Maybe not at launch.
Because if you have like a team of 4, like you need a big roster for that.
How many how many did Street Fighter launch with?
6.
No. Yeah, 6. The last one, 6.
I believe it was 16, and people complained about that. You know?
What about I don't know what Guilty Gear had either. They started with a low.
That was also around 16, yeah. But again, these are 1 versus 1 games, you know.
What about Fighter Z?
That's a good question. That I'm not sure.
Because I know that they kept on. I know they kept adding people to the game.
Funny enough, I actually did a search for that as I was trying to find out. It had 21 base, and then they added over 20 over the years.
Okay, so going by those numbers, I'm going to change my number. 24 minimum, because 21 is a nice divisible number by 3, so 24 is nice and divisible by 4. You know,
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
I was like somewhere between 20 and 30, because again, 30 seems like a lot.
They will eventually have 30, but yes. So Brian, you know what? 24, 28 around that. I think that seems about right. You know, because it gives you because it gives you enough people at launch, but then plenty of room to expand. But Brian, since you're talking, what did you think of this announcement?
I thought it was cool. Definitely really cool idea. I love the art style. Yes. I think it definitely is incredibly expressive. And the thing that impresses me most is I had a flashback to the Avengers game that Square Enix made, and I was like, wow, it's a big difference here between those two. And then my thought just went immediately to where's my Marvel Ultimate Alliance?
Uh-oh.
You know, this is
I miss those.
You know, like this is a perfect time for that. I mean, that game, like take that art style, put it in Ultimate Alliance, make it third person, 4-player co-op. It sells. Simple. That's it, you know. So again, I'm not a big fan of 2D fighting games, but I do appreciate how cool it looks, and yeah, they've done a great job. Tony, do you know who that girl is with the Fantastic Four stretchy arms?
Okay,
I have no idea who she is.
Wait, are you actually serious about that?
No.
Okay. The reason I bring this up is because I was watching a lot of reaction videos, from a lot of FGC guys. None of them knew who she was. They were like one guy was like, "Oh yeah, who's that stretchy lady?" And then another one guy kept going, "Oh, that's Captain Marvel, right?" No, I'm gonna say this right now, Kamala Khan. This proves no cultural impact whatsoever. Despite Marvel trying to shove her in our faces for the last 10 years, no one knows who the fuck she is. No one knows who she is.
And it was interesting just to see obviously Iron Man and Captain America are the two of the biggest hitters, and Spider-Man as well. Like it's just interesting to see the other ones. Star-Lord, we get why.
Yeah, the movie.
So I'm curious to see what other ones are going to be sort of highlighted because they got a long list of other characters.
Because that's my other worry, Brian. Going back to your question, I hope they don't start shoving in some of these other characters that no one cares about. Like we want Carol Danvers. I don't want Captain Marvel. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to shove. That Spider-Man. I wonder who he is. You know what I mean? Is it Peter Parker or is it Miles? We don't know.
No, I mean, I definitely think it's a Peter one, but I think though there probably could end up being a Miles one.
Yeah, there will be.
You know what I mean?
I just hope they don't stuff it with too many all new, all different characters, if you know what I mean, from that era, like Miss Marvel.
No, to me, I think what they're going to be doing is they're going to be following riding the rails of things that are MCU adjacent. So obviously you're going to have the Avengers. There's probably going to be a Thor in there. They're probably going to throw a Wolverine in there. I would think they'll probably throw Gambit if they do decide to do Gambit. Put him because he's definitely anime centric. You could tell with the hair and all that. I think he will end up being a DLC.
And Gambit hasn't been in a fighting game since Marvel vs. Capcom 2. He
hasn't been, but I think but if you look at the levels in that game, they're very at least the one with the alleyway with the giant tentacle and all that.
That's by the way, that's Shuma Gorath, by the way.
That's Shuma Gorath.
Yeah,
Daredevil's also there.
Yeah,
too.
If he's playable, that would be fucking legit.
That'd be cool. You have a Daredevil in there, or I think they'll do characters that I think the Capcom fighter fans will really enjoy, but while also I think working in some of those very familiar, MCU guys.
Yeah.
I think they'll go through and they'll pick the popular ones. Like, I mean, maybe I don't know if Black Widow will be in there, but they could end up throwing Black Widow in there. I think she was in the last Capcom game.
I believe she was, yeah. But yeah, Brian, to your point, nobody knows who Kamala Khan is, so don't feel bad.
It's an interesting thing with her. It's like she's been around for years. She's been,
no cultural impact.
Marvel for a long time, but I mean, she's been in like a bunch of different games, and still people don't know who she is. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah, because there's nothing there. That's why. Let's just be honest. She would like.
I don't.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not obviously since I work in the industry, I don't. One of the things I think the weakness of the character is that she's not able to. She's not a main character.
Yeah, despite having.
Right?
Multiple of her own book that no one buys.
But like it seems like they're just very much trying to make her a main character. But she doesn't have she doesn't have main character vibes. Like she can't take that. She's for some reason, well, I don't know, whatever. She can't really take that. Like there's nothing like, okay, she's a girl in a who looks like she's wearing, like she just cobbled together her outfit. There's nothing sort of iconic about that character.
Nope.
And I think that's the big thing, that there's nothing that really people can sort of grab onto when it comes to her character, so I think that's maybe like if you show her to people and like they're like there's like, okay, what's this anime character, what's this girl with the stretchy arms, like again, like hopefully her being in the game doesn't kick out Reed Richards though.
Yeah, right. I was thinking the same thing too. Yep.
But they have to put him in put the Fantastic Four in the game, because again, essentially the movie's coming out soon. That's like double like advertising, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. They don't like her for she's from Jersey. That's funny.
Yeah. What? Nothing ever came good from Jersey. Yeah. Even Kevin Smith.
Yeah, but yeah, no, again, all these FGC guys are like, who is that? There's only one guy. He's like, oh, cool, they have Kamala Khan. Only one guy recognized her. And I knew he recognized her because because if you know her, you tend to call her by her name. The other guys were like, oh yeah, it's not Marvel. One guy called, oh, that's Marvel girl, right? Like, no, that's Jean Grey. That's her old name. He like the guy was like Marvel something, right?
Miss Marvel, yeah.
Oh, man.
I hope that they don't. The one thing that I hope that they don't do is they don't get locked down into too many of these type of characters.
Like safe space and Snowflake. Bring them back.
Well, they're not even. They were never. Those characters weren't even a thing.
They never.
Honest,
yeah, that's like talk about being aborted.
Again, like I feel like obviously. Well, here's the interesting thing, though. There's also that situation where if you do put a character like Kamala Khan, and she ends up being kind of interesting, then people will start to remember her. So it's a good, in that sense, if she ends up being a really cool character in the game, that people enjoy, then then it works out. But then if she's just, again, like if she can't capture any of that, like if they somehow able to inject Sakura energy into her,
yeah, right, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Chris, what are your thoughts, man,
on the game?
Yeah,
I mean, it looks nice. I like a lot of their varying styles. I love Arc System Works games. I love Guilty Gear. I mean, Manny got me Xrd for my birthday. I played the Blaze Blue games, so I'm very excited about this. A lot of people forget too. Maybe Disney gave them the license, gave them a shot, because Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite did not go over so well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Technically, we got a Marvel vs. Capcom 4. It's that game.
Yeah.
That game bombed. So it could be that. I mean, even though Capcom has resurged. I mean, Street Fighter 6 is great and whatever. Maybe they were like, hey, we like this style, and they those decisions come way out, but they probably felt a little burned with the poor performance of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Even though it was Marvel's fault, they're the ones that wanted that Super Star. They're the ones that wanted no X-Men. That was Marvel's fault. The game flopped.
100%. But here's the thing: they'll never take responsibility for that.
Yeah, they won't. Yeah.
They tied Capcom's hands. They lowered the budget, and that's what they got. Then it performed poorly. They're not gonna. It's not our fault. You made the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they blame them. So but they're in a different place now. This looks pretty good. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the beat 'em up game. Once in a while on Twitter, I see them promoting that.
Oh yes.
15
That's
characters,
insane.
That I like. That I want to play that for sure. I mean, this looks great, and I'll definitely get this. Like, looks good. It's a version of Kamala Khan that doesn't, make me want to punch the screen. So that's great. They put her. They tried to shove her in everything. I mean, she's the main character in the Square Enix. Avengers
she was,
game.
yeah. People forget that she was the main character in that game.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Like you said, cultural impact.
She was
like
the
a negative
audience.
cultural impact.
Yeah, negative. Nobody knows this bitch. The only thing that I saw from her in that trailer gives me hope. She had this line. She's like, "I'm marvelous." I'm like, "Hey, she has hubris. That's a character trait. She doesn't have that in the books."
No, she doesn't. Yeah, she's sort of like
if she's a little, if they make her a little cocky, you can see that. I'm like, holy shit, that's personality. Something she doesn't have. So that would be good.
She just sort of has that sort of flat. There's nothing really to her. Like, I feel like even when people write her, there's nothing. It's like you have Donald Duck, who has a personality. Then you have somebody like a Mickey Mouse, where his personalities, people love Mickey, but he kind of his personality just is kind of bland. Like, he doesn't, he gets angry, but it's just like there's no personality trait to him.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Bugs Bunny, that motherfucker has personality.
Goofy's personality is so good. They even named it after a personality.
Exactly.
I also think that's the reasoning. That's the reasoning why they put them in the game, as opposed to making Mickey Mouse your buddy in the Kingdom Hearts game.
Oh yeah,
because those two characters are unique, weird, like characters. They have definite personality traits, as opposed to Mickey, who's a little, he kind of, his personality changes depending on what the situation is.
Yeah. By the way, if you guys want something life-changing, listen to some Japanese Donald Duck. It is amazing. It's insane. It's crazy. But yeah, go ahead, bro.
Why do you think they went? We went over a lot of the characters. It makes sense why they went with them.
Yeah.
The one that doesn't baffle me, but it's kind of intriguing is Ghost Rider. I'm like,
Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, to be specific. The I call him the Cholo Ghost Rider from East LA.
Yeah,
aka Ghost Driver.
Yeah, Ghost Driver.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah. Again, Carlos, that goes back to my point. Like, I'm worried that Marvel may be trying to inject these newer characters in there. So because I'm like, people want motherfucking, I personally want Danny Ketch. That's who I want. That's my Ghost Rider. But Johnny Blaze, throw him in there. He's the more iconic one. But yeah, I don't know. I don't find Robbie Reyes too egregious. He at least has a personality and a cool backstory, unlike Kamala Khan. But it's like you're a driver. You're not a writer, bro. Just get that right.
Yeah. If he's the Ghost Rider and he has a car, that means he's in the passenger seat and somebody else is driving.
Yeah. But yeah, the game looks dope. We have no idea when the fuck it's dropping. Just next year.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Next year, some point.
Actually, Adam, did you see this real quick? Adam, did you see this trailer?
What?
Was it good?
No, I'm guessing you didn't see it then.
No, I didn't see it.
All right, never mind then. Do you care about a Marvel fighting game?
No, I guess not, because they're never going to add everybody that we want. So it's like,
is that your problem with the other Marvel games they had?
Yeah, I mean, that Marvel versus Capcom Infinite they try to
Trash.
nickel and dime everybody. Yeah, it's like, oh, we'll add this afterwards, and it just didn't work. And I like what Brian was saying. I'd rather a Marvel Ultimate Alliance, bring that back. Just bring something like that. I'd rather go into that. But when it comes to the fighting games, I just stick with Street Fighter. I feel like even with the Mortal Kombat, I can't get excited with that. I played the new ones. I'm like, yeah, the old ones will be good to have a collection, but
those are the only good ones.
Just,
yeah. But hey, you got the Marvel beat 'em up game coming, so there you go.
Yeah.
What's the name of it again? Something I don't know, but it looks cool. It reminds me of like Captain America and the Avengers. You guys remember playing that from back in the day, or the X-Men arcade game too. But yeah, no, this Marvel. By the way, they need to change this fucking name. Tokun fucking whatever. Basically, Tokun means fighting soul. I'm like, but that's already the name of the game. Just call it Marvel Fighting Soul. Just call it that.
Or maybe Marvel Fighter Z.
Marvel Fighters. I'm down with that. We will see about that.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, maybe Richard Bailey play the game. We don't know.
Marvel Fighters T.
Yeah. All right, that was good. So that's pretty much
wait.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
Yeah. If you go through like the trailer, like step by step, there's so many small Easter eggs. It's
a lot.
Not even funny anymore.
What stood out to you?
I'm like 30 seconds in, and there's already stuff for Dazzler. There's JJ. There's the Avengers building. There's the Fantastic Four building as well. So
nice.
It is there. It looks like Neymar's Trident is there.
Ooh.
So, yeah, there's lots of small trailers, and one of the statues has Iron Man's classic costume, from way back when.
Well, it's the classic,
the trilogy
Avengers,
or Trinity. Yeah. Brian, something I am since you're looking at the trailer. Okay, yeah. One thing, because I noticed this too. I'm like, you notice how the city looks futuristic? Like the cars are like all like EV cars and shit. Did you notice that? It's kind of interesting. They're not modern cars. They're like futuristic cars.
Yes, it looks very futuristic. Van Damme is there, so yeah, there's so many small things. So yeah, you can have a field day. Yeah.
One thing I noticed in the Shumagorath play. By the way, all the levels you saw were all New York, because it's like Guilty Gear, you could punch people into other places. Damage controls there. For you guys who don't know, damage control, because you always wonder, like, hey, superheroes always destroying the fucking city. Who cleans this shit up? Damage control does that. Yeah. Oh, was it this Damage Control TV show?
It was. It got canceled.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Yeah,
but yeah,
Damage. Yeah, I just remember the Damage Control comics because it makes sense. Like, wait, who's cleaning this shit up? These guys cleaned it up. By the way, I heard they changed the name of Shumagorath because they released.
So Giganto.
Yeah, because they don't have the right. They lost the rights to the name or some shit. Like, what the hell happened there?
It has to. Shumagorath is a connection to Conan.
And they can't do that anymore, huh?
They can't do that. No.
Yeah.
So it's a name. It's weird because they do have it for the Marvel versus Capcom games.
They didn't change
it. Still call him Shumagorath there. No, but yeah, in the comics and everything, they changed Shumagorath's name to Gigantos because of because it was a connection to Conan and that's one of his eldritch creatures.
And Marvel doesn't have to license the Conan anymore, so there you go.
Nope, so they can't do that.
That's crazy. All right, so yeah, that's the show. What do you guys think overall? Again, my two. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff, but to me, that Marvel game and the Mortal Kombat announcement that made the whole show for me. But the other stuff was all right,
Yeah, it wasn't egregious egregious as these these state of plays have been. But I do have to say that it's such a weird thing to start it off with Luminous.
Yeah.
Like they could have thrown it somewhere else, but it's like you start off, maybe start off with something a little bit bigger. I mean, I would have put like a Ghost of Yote or something in the beginning, to get people really hyped. It sort of works its way up.
Yeah.
Kind of this one. They did have their obligatory, like, boring section in the middle.
Yes.
And even
Sizzle real ass.
Yeah, with these sort of even the ones that are we could consider boring, they've set them in their own little section. They sort of were all on the same level, so they weren't too bad, and they didn't sink too low. Like they're not showing like Monster High or whatever the hell that game was in there.
Dinosaur High.
Dinosaur
Richard
High,
Bailey's game of the year.
I really enjoyed State of Third Party. It was. I will say this: it's pretty ironic that the first party game that people would actually like to see was like just a teaser of a teaser.
Yeah, right.
So, as far as overall, it was great for me.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, Tony, at the beginning of the show, or beginning of the Marvel part. It's like that's a true megaton.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if people realize how big this is.
And I'm glad you're saying that, Carlos, because I was wondering, like, wait, am I bugging just because I'm in a bubble? Like, no, this is big.
I was losing my fucking mind.
Yeah, I was like, this is crazy.
In the shout out to the Discord, we're talking there. Everyone was going crazy. So like, it's one of those things where it's huge news, and the rest of the show is pretty good as well. So if I were to give it like something like 7.5, almost an 8 out of 10.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Carlos, would you think of people being very upset about no Bloodborne?
Oh, it's the most you don't need to be Miss Cleo to foresee that.
Yeah, these guys, Chris, these guys were coping. You're talking about cope. These guys were coping, man.
Oh man, they came in like the RE guys. They're like, oh, we gotta see it.
They got to get together, support group.
You need the prayer circle.
Yeah. And meanwhile, I'm gonna be watching them eating over here. Like, look at these fucking guys. They ain't got nothing. Meanwhile, I'm eating over here. I got Marvel. I got Mortal Kombat.
And again, when it does happen, it's going to be crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be like flipping tables, running through walls. Hip Hop Gamer's going to do a backflip or something. I have no idea. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. No, J Shep, you've been here the whole show. You haven't missed anything. We haven't talked about Mario Kart yet because they didn't show that during State of Play for obvious reasons. But yeah, we're going to talk about that soon. But yeah, I think we're pretty much done with State of Play. Dope. It's for me, dope show. 15 out of 10. That Marvel reveal was nuts, But yeah, let's get into it, man. We'll probably drop that Summer Game Fest stuff for another time because I'm like, we're already running late. What predictions do we have? You're gonna see you'll see our reactions on Sunday. What we'll probably do since the show starts at 1, maybe we'll get on like 12:30, give a recap of everything we've seen so far, especially the Friday show. So we'll do it then. Manny, you're muted, by the way.
Yeah, we could do a double dip on that one.
Yep.
Like before the pre-show, we could talk a little bit about the Summer Games Fest and how much of a disappointment it is.
Yeah. All right. So we'll end the show off with let's talk about the Switch 2, people. It is out in the wild. Carlos and I have one. I didn't buy this. Obviously, this is a review unit. But I want to start with Carlos. Your thoughts, and then I'll get into mine.
Yeah, so when it came to the Switch 1, we've had our gripes with it. It's pretty public at this point. Especially me and Tony. We've been complaining about playing it, and especially in particular for me, the quality of the fidelity of the games was a big factor of why I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like playing it with. That's one. Number two was the size of the Joy-Cons. They were too freaking small for my hands, man. They were not comfortable playing, in my hands. So I always had to play on the TV. Playing Switch games on on a 4K TV in particular is just not a great experience for me. I'm not saying everyone feels the same way as I do, but that was a huge sticking point when it came to me not liking the Switch as much as I should.
You're preaching to the choir right now, man. I had the same issues.
It was, and we had the same experience. We were playing Horizon Zero Dawn, and then it's one of the best looking games of that generation. And then we went to Breath of the Wild, and it was like, Breath of the Wild had other issues, but the fidelity was like, man, this looks bad.
Yeah.
So with the Switch 2, it's great to hear and see and feel that the Switch 2 is way bigger than the previous one. So it fits a lot better in my hands to play. And also the fidelity is a lot improved. You can upscale up to 4K now, not 1080p, which the other one did. And also, hey man, it looks great. When you're playing it on the Switch, it looks great. That 1080p screen is perfect for that size. I've been enjoying it, man. The Joy-Cons when they snap in and out, that's a great feeling, man. Tony's about to do it.
Yeah, I gotta pause the game. Let me do it now. I gotta pause the. I could just go back. I forgot you could just suspend this shit. Check this out. It's so fucking dope. Oh wait, god damn it! I haven't left the game. I don't want to fuck it up. All right, here we go. So it's just.
He dropped it.
We're still streaming, right? Because this shit just dropped right on my fucking keyboard.
Oh man,
we're still streaming, right? We're good. All right, so
we good.
So basically, you just hold this button right here. Snaps right off, which is pretty dope. Snaps right on. Because remember, on the other one, it was tricky. Very. Get that on camera, right? Fuck. I'm trying to get it right. There we go. Oh, by the way, Carlos, the stand, pretty dope.
Oh yeah, the stand is great. Man, anything compared to that original Switch stand is perfect because that original stand was crap.
And we're talking about the stand. We're talking about the Switch stand, not the movie, The Stand.
And not the stand.
Yeah,
it's good so far. I'm still waiting.
Jay don't hurt my fingers. Yeah, so apparently some user got his shit stuck.
Yep.
Weak Japanese hands, bro.
Come on, man. It's good, man. I feel like it improved in every aspect that I had issues with the original Switch. Playing Mario Kart on the TV looks good.
Yo, Carlos, you get one of these, bro. You got the Pro Controller.
Oh yeah, man.
You already know, son.
The it feels incredible.
Oh, so good.
The texture is.
The texture is so nice. Man. It feels good, and I notice it's like a little smaller, but it feels better, more premium. The sticks feel really nice. They feel like more durable and shit. The D-pad is dope. I was actually playing Street Fighter 6 with this, and I was doing pretty well. I was playing Elena. Yes, I'll talk about Street Fighter 6 in a bit, but this is still better than the Joy-Cons for real.
Oh yeah. It was one of those things where I had to get it, and also there's buttons in the back which I haven't used yet. I don't know. You probably can program in and stuff.
Yeah, you can program.
Nice little feature there, and it was pretty seamless getting my Switch stuff into my Switch 2. I'm pretty sure you just most people just start it from fresh, but I used my old Switch games and transferred all of them. Pretty seamless, and I can't wait to.
Yeah. Let me see if I.
Also the same. It's a shame that they didn't change it. The 3DS was the best UI. The fact that you could put the themes and the songs, and it just really changed things up. And this looks so plain. I just can't believe they wouldn't do that. Why?
Yeah. Maybe they didn't want to mess with perfection. I don't know.
That's not perfection. Come on now. That's just
because it is pretty simple. You got to admit it.
But that's too simple. That's all right. That's like testing purposes. All right, let's throw all the games up there and let's just try them out. All right, what's the UI? Just go with the testing shit, man. Just the white or black. That's your option.
Yeah. By the way, here's some of Oh, go ahead, Carlos. Go ahead.
Oh, just real quick. They didn't want to mess with that. They just wanted to keep the same.
Yeah, they didn't want to mess around. So here's some of the launch games because I got a bunch of review codes. So Mario World, obviously. Mario World's like the only new first party game. Then we have Street Fighter, Hitman, Split Fiction. I got to play that with somebody. What the hell else do I have here? Sonic Generations. I think that's actually a brand new game. Puyo 2, Tetris 2, and Yakuza 0. So these are some of the launch games, but most of the launch games are third party. Yeah. Cyberpunk is out there. I got to get a code for that. But yeah, real quick, I was playing Street Fighter. I could tell the difference in terms of fidelity because coming off the PS5 and playing on this, for lack of a better term, it was blurrier. It wasn't as sharp, but the colors were still nice. It was still running relatively well I'm not gonna say it wasn't 60 frames a second, but it wasn't 30 either, but it was pretty good. Go ahead, Manny.
One question, it's is that one of the actual Switch 2 games? Or is that just Street Fighter the Street Fighter 6, whatever version that was available for it from before?
No, this is the first time Street Fighter 6 available for Switch.
Okay.
So it's a legit Switch 2 game.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, but it looks good. It runs really well. It does suck that I can't bring my save data from my other Street Fighter 6 on PS5 that I have over 200 hours in. I have to start from scratch. Even though they asked me for a Capcom ID. But remember, I'm playing it with a pro controller. You already know the D-pad is nice. I'm able to do my Shoryukens, Hadoukens, all that shit, super moves, no problem. But I would suggest I'm wondering if some of the third-party controllers that you could use on Switch work with this one. Because I would want to use a proper arcade stick with this thing. But the thing is, sure the dock, I don't have it here. Unless I'm wrong, I didn't see a USB-A in there. So I'm like, you wouldn't be able to.
Yes, there is.
There is? Okay, good. Woo. Because you wouldn't be able to connect some of these peripherals in there, Oh, by the way, Carlos, I don't know if you got one of these. Got the camera. Look how small this is, bro. Fucking little ass camera,
Baby camera. Yeah, I didn't get one. I'm not interested in the whole, sort of Nintendo streaming aspect of it.
Yeah. I tested it. It works pretty well. The frame rate isn't as horrendous as you saw in the demo that they showed. It's actually pretty decent. I was trying it in the office and stuff. It worked pretty well. The quality's pretty good, I would say. And there's like options where you could like kind of crop in your head. You could remove back and you could add shit, $60 for this thing. Probably not necessary. By the way, I wanted to play Street Fighter 6 online, but you have to have a Nintendo account for that. It's like,
online, yeah.
But if you have a buddy over, because I used the camera I used the camera with one of my other colleagues who also got a Switch. We were just playing in the office together and stuff. But he was able to use a regular webcam, which was nice.
Yeah, so they don't lock you down on using their peripherals. Yeah. That's good.
Jay said, Carlos, did you say Diddy camera?
No.
We ain't talking about that kind of Diddy party,
Diddy Kong, maybe, but
yeah, we're talking about Diddy Kong here, not other Diddy. Puff Daddy, man. I don't acknowledge that whole Diddy nonsense. You're Puff Daddy, bro.
Had a lot of cameras. They did have a lot of cameras.
Yeah, you're Puff Daddy. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Anyway, go ahead, Carlos.
Also, one thing that I'm meaning to do this weekend is to get at least one of the upgrades. Some games, that were on the Switch had upgrades that I haven't tested yet. So I'm curious to see what the improvements are in particular, Legend of Zelda. I don't know, Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom.
But they both have the upgrade. So either or.
$10. So might give it a shot on one of them.
So yeah, would you say it was worth the money? That again, it's only you've had it for less than 24 hours.
I've had it for less than 24 hours. I'm the game that I'm most anticipating that's coming out recently is Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
I want to play Donkey Kong, and also want to try Metroid on this when Metroid 4 comes out. Those are the games that I'm really, really looking forward to. Mario Kart is fun. I played it a bit. The free roam is actually really good.
It is, yeah.
So gotta give shout out to Mario Kart because it's still fun to play. But yeah, those other games are the ones that I'm truly waiting for. And when we get the new Mario whenever 3D Mario whenever that is, that'll be great. But that's when I'll probably say it's worth getting. At the time, if you're a Tumeke Nintendo fan, you're gonna love this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he's already he's been loving it. But yeah, overall, I think it's a good upgrade to what you had. I doubt I'm going to be putting a lot of hours into it because again, I'm not really a Nintendo guy like that. But I can appreciate what they're doing. Mario Kart is pretty nice, and the game, again, it looks good on a 4K TV and all that. But yeah, I think if you're a Nintendo guy, I think it's worth it if you can find a system. Don't buy it. That's the other thing I was talking about. Don't buy from GameStop. Because I don't know if you guys have heard some of the shenanigans that happened there. Basically, GameStop for some locations, they stapled the receipt to the box and fucked up the screen of the Switch because the staples went right through the box. Man. Some bullshit. Chris, what are your thoughts on that? Because I know how much you love GameStop.
Well, no, it's ridiculous on multiple fronts. One, is like you didn't have tape.
Yeah.
You ever heard of tape? It's taped to the box.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. You stapled it.
Especially if you're a collector, right?
Yeah.
You want to, you have like a giant staple hole in front of your box.
Yeah. And then two, why did Nintendo package this thing with the screen like less than a millimeter from the edge of the cardboard? Yeah. Why isn't it deeper in? Like you could have made an inlay. Like look how iPhones are packed, or other systems. Look how your Steam Deck came. Like the screen was not right up against the edge of the box. That's ridiculous because that's a shipping nightmare, right? So, like there's blame on both sides. GameStop's retarded. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. You just use tape. You heard of it? Tape. You don't need to staple it. Like it's ridiculous. But the fact that Nintendo packaged it with the screen right up against the edge of the box, that's a bit concerning. They should rethink that.
Yeah, no, they fucked up. So stay away from GameStop.
I remember when I got my Switch, both the OLED and the other one, it had one of those plastic shears on top of it that you just peel off. That didn't help. That didn't even protect it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You know what I mean? It's like you have to still peel that layer.
Well, no,
off.
It's a metal staple.
Yeah, it's a metal staple. It just goes right through it.
I don't know. I think these guys were they were putting in a machine and stamping a boom. I don't know. I need to see. Well, no, wait a minute. You, Carlos, you have the box. I don't think Tony has the box.
But I did unbox it. That thing is very thin, and the screen is right there. You know.
Yeah, the Switch console is like pretty much touching the top of the box.
Yeah.
The only thing that's separating is a styrofoam packaging or whatever that is.
Yeah, no,
so
but
there was nothing
I
on
see
the screen protecting.
But again, this wouldn't have happened if the GameStop guys didn't do that shit. Why? Again, if people want to buy this system, they may be collectors. Why are you ruining the box by stapling it? You know, they're fucking stupid. They shouldn't have done that. I've never had that happen where they stapled shit to my console. You know, so that's just retarded. But other than that, it seems getting this system, it is difficult. It's not as hard as like trying to get a PS5 at launch back then, which is good.
When I went to Best Buy, I went when they opened at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
They had stacks of them.
You didn't go to midnight launch. A lot of people were doing that.
To quote a great philosopher, oh hell no! that was too late. I wasn't gonna. And there was actually a lot of folks there, so it's like in line. So yeah, I saw pictures of the one that I go to. I'm like, damn, there's like over 100 people.
You were like, yo, what is this, Halo 3?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna wait. I was gonna wait an hour, 2 hours to midnight to get to this. I'll just get in the morning.
Wait, so I'm curious. Like a lot of people have been showing pictures of their stores, like Target or Walmart or wherever, where there's stacks of systems. Like they had no problem just walking in and getting one. So I'm noticing a lack of hype with this launch.
Really? Because I'm seeing the opposite on my end. It's just like,
well, I think it's a vocal minority. I don't see the systems like flying off the shelf. The pre-order cancellation might have been a stunt. Because I don't see a lack of systems like from people. I mean, it's especially could be anecdotal, but there's plenty of people who are like, here's my target, and there's systems available.
I mean, I brought it up before. There was a guy at my job, and he went to the Best Buy launch, and he didn't pre-order anything. He said it was two lines, one for people that had the pre-orders, and the other ones just trying to get. And someone came out, started counting everybody, and they were like, "Hey, are we gonna get on? We're wasting time." It's like, "Oh, I just did a head count. Yeah, we got over like 200. You guys are all good. You're all good." That's amazing because that's usually not the case for a lot of these.
Well, that's why I think.
Well, we're also talking about Walmart, and Walmart and Target are probably the worst places that you could pre-order a console, or action figure, because they always have some sort of issue. So if you could help it, don't ever pre-order from either of those two.
I can't help it. They have my crystal ball. I have nothing I could do about it.
The problem is like there's if this launch wasn't as big as they expected. And there's only drop off from here because what is the exclusive right now? Mario Kart?
Yeah, that's it.
And that's not going to carry them. The reviews I've seen is like it's a pretty shallow game, right, compared to the last one. So there's not like glowing reviews of it. I don't think it appeals to a great many people who would want like actual Mario game or an adventure game, or looking forward to something like Metroid or like Carlos said, Donkey Kong, which is not coming out till July.
Yeah, July. Yeah.
There's not a lot to get hyped about. Like you have to wait next month to get Donkey Kong, and I don't know. I'm not seeing this launch being very spectacular. I see several people yelling about it and being excited. I saw the guy who bought like every single thing for the system. He must have spent over $1,000. He took a picture of it, all the games and stuff. I'm like, well, you're crazy. But I'm not from what people online just showing pictures of their stores or whatever. There's plenty of systems available. I'm like, I would have expected the opposite the way they were acting, but maybe that was just for optics.
Yeah. I want to go ahead, because I want to read something that you posted, Chris, in our chat.
Page it off the kids, because we're already checked out.
Carlos.
So.
The only thing that I can think of in the potential in the contrary, I'm not saying that you're wrong. The only thing I can think of is they might just have received a lot more inventory, than any other launch. So it's possible that, because the pre-orders were actually sold out online for most of the places, like including my Best Buy, the one that I ordered my what's it called, my Switch 2, it was sold out after I got it.
But
so
what's sold out? Like, how many did they have up? That's the thing. It's like, we don't know. They could have said a low amount, and they want everybody to come into the store. That's the other part, right? Get people to the store. So maybe they were like, all right, we have 200 that we can sell online, and then all the other ones have to be in-store purchases.
Maybe, because online it's hard to get,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They want to make that local money. So.
Yeah. So it
could have been that artificial scarcity in the pre-order, and then it's available on the shelves. It's like, get it now.
I asked my kids. I was like, hey, your friends, anybody talking about it? This is it. The day it's out.
This is it. It's the one.
He said only one friend said that his dad was getting it, and that was it. It's like,
and that was for himself.
Exactly. Probably. It was like
that's why I don't feel the hype is there.
You guys might be right. Yeah, you guys might be right. I'm seeing guys like Chris's buddy Stealth going ham.
No, he's completely bought in. He has always.
Yeah. So, Chris, this is something you posted from IGN. This is what they had to say. Nintendo's $10 Switch minigame collection, the game that many fans believe should have been free, which I agree with, requires you to own at least $95 of accessories to complete 100%. That's crazy.
Don't get that.
And 60 of those dollars is probably this guy, the camera.
Yeah, the camera, right?
That's crazy.
Well, to be fair, remember there was I remember Burnout Paradise.
Yeah.
And if you had
a great series,
seriously, if you wanted to get the platinum, you still had to have a camera connected.
That's right. Yeah.
Remember, you had to do the license, and then you had to play online and send like a goofy shot or from a takedown or something like that.
Dude, the original game, Adam, I bought a fucking camera just to get that trophy to get my platinum.
I still got it in the drawer. I got the PlayStation 1 there and for the Xbox.
Yeah.
I had it for both, and I got 2 cameras. And
I literally bought a camera just to get a trophy.
I got messages. I always remember it was I put it on the PS4 version, and it worked. And I went online just to get it because I was boosting and doing all that. And then people were sending me messages. Thank you. No one has a camera anymore. And I smashed it to your thing, and it popped for me. So thanks for still having a camera plugged in.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So like, yep, I still have the camera.
I don't remember how I got that trophy for the PS4 one that we played. I think I may have used this camera right here. Maybe just plugged it into the PlayStation or something. Because I don't have that old PlayStation camera.
No, I think for that the remaster doesn't require it.
Yeah.
If I
maybe
right.
it didn't. Yeah.
It was the older ones.
Those are older ones. Okay.
PS3.
Yeah. Yep. The new ones just use your gamer pick.
Yeah. Brian, did you have to do the same thing? Because I literally just bought the camera just to get that trophy for the PS3. I guess not.
Yeah.
But you cut out, Tony.
Oh, I did. I cut out.
Webcam.
Oh, my bad.
So I just plugged that in, and such a stupid thing to have as a trophy. Ridiculous.
That's how they get you, though. That's how they get you.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see how the Switch does. I think it is an improvement over the original, but like you said, Adam, that price may be a little too much for some.
I think it's a combination of a few things. One, the price, whatever. But two, why? You know what I mean? Like if you try to gauge, we get the older audience. These people already bought in. They drinking the Kool-Aid, Mario for life, all that. We get it. But for the next generation to get hooked, they're not there.
Yeah.
The Mario movies are great, and that's cool. But I don't think that was enough to link with the games to get people to want to play. Like when you talk to kids, if our generation, if you were to tell kids, what are you into? Well, I like Sonic, I like Mario, I like Contra. You know, there's some key big names. You tell kids today, what do you like? I like Minecraft, I like Fortnite, I like Roblox. Yep. Where is the Mario on that list? You know, and Zelda, it's tricky with that. And then that's why I got one kid that's in the elementary and another one in middle school. So they're both in that realm. It's like, yo, what are people saying? What are they playing? And they're not playing anything on the Switch like this. If they're playing the Switch, they're playing third-party games on Switch, like the Fortnite and Minecraft. They're not bringing up. I think my son had a few years ago one friend who was like diehard into Zelda. Yeah, and he had all the cards. So one friend, one friend, and when it comes to the Mario Kart, the kids played a little bit and stopped, don't even care. I went and got that boost pass, whatever, all the other cards. I'm playing the tracks, all the tracks. Like, hey, try this. They would play all the tracks once and then move on. They were like, all right, turn this shit off. Like, I'm done. And even now, I remember when I was telling my son, he was like, oh, well, what games did they launch with it? What's new? And I was like, well, it's just a new Mario Kart. That's it. And he's like, oh, damn. Yeah, and this is a kid that wants to collect all kinds of shit. He gets all the skins, stuff for Fortnite. Oh, I gotta have this. I gotta get this new car for this game. Does not even care. Didn't even blink about it.
That's crazy. Right. So there you go. There's our impressions. But obviously we'll tell you more about the Switch as the months and years go on. Hopefully there'll be more games.
More games and more bundles. We know Nintendo doesn't like to lower their prices, but they're going to have to bundle some stuff besides just a Mario Kart. Maybe sprinkle some other little things in there or make a new bundle for the next Zelda. I'm sure Donkey Kong will probably get its own bundle as well. And now with what was it called? Game card? What's that?
Oh, term? The digital cards or whatever.
Digital cards, I'm sure that's what it'll say because you're not going to get a physical
virtual card. Virtual card.
There you go, virtual card. It'll just say, hey, you pre-order this or you buy this, and if it's not with a little logo, maybe you sign up on your account, and once you put in when you link the console, it'll just say, hey, that's part of this eternal bundle, and then you'll get that cart key, whatever, and there you go. They'll do it that way just to help sell units.
You know what's interesting? If you download a game, they consider that a virtual card. Like I download a bunch of games, like you have 5 virtual cards, and you see them kind of like going into your system.
Yep, and all the games that I had a cartridge, it just has a blank cartridge, just like the other one. So,
did you have you tried the share feature? Like send it to a friend and stuff, and then apparently they show like a little clock or something. Because what's it? 14 days is how much time they have.
I didn't even know that was a feature.
That's the whole point. The whole point. Yeah, the card that share. So if you go to the bottom, there's a little button there, a new button, the cart thing, right in the toolbar. It's like for game card or whatever, and you click on it, and then you can select your game, and then you can select a person to share the game to. A friend, and then they'll be able to play it for X amount of days. That's the whole point of like sharing it, but they don't keep it. And then obviously you can't play it if it's shared, so it's temporarily removed from your account to someone else's account, and they can play it.
That's why they're calling it
those. That's the whole card thing. Yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, we're introducing sharing now, and it's like, but I'm curious to see how that works.
I haven't seen that. That's interesting. I clicked on, for example, I'm looking at Mario Kart World, and I pressed the options button. I don't see anything.
Not in the game. So they said it's on the menu. When you
I'm in the main menu.
Oh yeah, all the way at the bottom, where you see like the system and all that stuff, the store, the dashboard, okay. The dashboard.
Yeah. So where is it on the dashboard?
Virtual game cards.
Virtual game.
Game share.
Game share. Game share. There you go. Game share.
It says,
and then from there,
let's see if for you guys in the call here, it'll be backwards, but for the chat, it'll be fine. I'll read it. What it says. It says you can play together using software that supports game share. The person sharing will need to start a session while playing a compatible game. So I'm gonna click on join game share. A local user. So the options are a local user or a user in a game chat session. The only one I have right now is just a local user because I'm not in a game chat session. So those are the people you could share it to. So somebody in the room with you, for example.
So I'm wondering, I guess that maybe you can't just share it online with somebody.
No.
Let's say
you have to be in a game chat session with them.
You have to, or if it was just like a friend on your list.
Yeah, no. No, you have to be in a session with them.
But I know there was a limitation, a certain amount of days, and then that's it. And then I guess since you're the holder, you could always probably cancel it. And I was just curious,
I'll say this system feels nice to hold, man, because it's heavier and has like the matted kind of grip. It feels nicer, So because the other one kind of felt like a toy, Let's just be honest. But yeah, game share's there, but you have to be in a session with somebody online, or they have to physically be.
What's the what was you said there was the other button next to it? What was the other one? Game what? The other new button?
Oh, the game chat button. That one?
No. In the menu, you said there was something in the menu next to the game share. There was something else.
I didn't see that. Let me see.
Virtual game cards. There's
virtual game cards. When you click on that, what options do you have there?
I see it.
So it shows all my games. And then
it shows all my games.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, not only does it show all the games that I've downloaded, but all the games I can download. Because this is my Switch account.
But Carlos, you see the option to
Yeah, you click on it. It says load on other system or lend to family group members.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's the lend. That's what I'm talking about. So when you click on that. Does it let you?
I'm scared to click on it, man.
No. You still have to select somebody. It's not going to just send it to any Joe Schmo. You still have to select, but just to see what it says.
Okay, it gives me a tutorial, a little tutorial thing. It says you can lend virtual game cards out to members of your family group.
You have to use
the family group.
You have to use a fucking QR code for that.
Mm-hmm. So they have to be part of your family group.
You have to add them. Yes.
Yeah, 14 days. 14 days.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, so there you go. So either way, you have to add someone to a family group. You have to do that on the website. You got to go and do the whole thing and
days,
add a member. And then once you can't just send it to friends, just add people. But that's cool. As long as you don't have to be in the house. If it's just a family group, then we could all, add each other. I think, you have to. I think that only works on the Switch too. But I think the Switch has that function because that's how I know about it because I saw it. When my son has, his Switch, when he plays his Fortnite and stuff, they did an update, and the update was there. And that's when I saw the new buttons. I was like, oh, this is what they were talking about. And now the profiles, all the profiles on the Switch itself can play the games from the primary account holder on that Switch, just like a PlayStation and an Xbox. As long as the primary holder has Plus service and all those game stuff, all the other sub counts can utilize and use all those games. That wasn't the case with the Switch. Now it is. So he can still play. So I don't know what the point of the share on the console unless it's you have a different console. Let's say you have a bunch of kids or adults or whatever, and everyone has their own Switch 2. Then you can start sending the game. All right, here. 14 days, play this. 14 days, play that. But there you go. All right, so you have to be part of the film. You can't just send it out to randos.
Yeah.
Think about it. You can make a little money out of that.
Yeah.
If that was the case. It was like, yo, send me $10. I know.
I'll lend you this.
You say, yeah, I'll lend you this game. You play it, you beat it. I just saved you some money. You didn't have to go buy it.
Apollo Neon XS. Xbox has had better game sharing for over a decade. Yeah, Nintendo's always 10 years behind, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it is, man. That's how it is.
Things will never be the same.
Yeah. All right. I think we're done here, man. Good stuff. Again, we're gonna be having we're gonna be doing a live stream of the Xbox conference at 1 p.m. Eastern, but we're gonna start probably at 12:30 p.m. Eastern just to give our thoughts on Summer Game Fest so far. Because the main show is tomorrow. But unfortunately, some of us will be working, so can't do a live stream on that. But yeah, look forward to that.
More Gears, more table tennis.
That's it,
More Kojima.
More Tony Hawk.
Yeah, we'll see,
That's
man.
it.
Yeah. All right, man. Start wrapping up. Adam, what you got, man? Pimp your shit.
Yeah, pimp my shit. All right. Tonight, well, within a few hours, 2 hours, you'll see over at the TV terminal, we have the latest episode of our review of Murderbot, episode 5, which is great over at Apple Plus. That's a great show. Sci-fi show, comedy show. Crazy. A lot of craziness happening. So we have that, and then we're going to be starting our coverage of Revival, which is based off of the Image comic series. And that debuts on June 12th. So we got that, and yeah, so it's good. And of course, we covered our Mobland series that's there, and that's what we've been doing there. And then, of course, at the Coalition, I'll speak for Rich. We have a lot of stuff. Rich is going ham with all these games. And I mean, again, it's a lot of these JRPGs. I don't really play those type of things. And Rich now does play a lot of those.
Yeah, he's into them. He's the new Riku-san.
Yeah, he's been absorbing. So he's like, oh, yeah, I got this JRPG, this turn. Oh, are you playing it? Oh,
it's a great series.
You hear all the clicking in the buttons in the background. I'm like, he's really committed to try to get into that genre. So, but he's out on location doing all that. So and that's the same thing. All the stuff for the TV terminal, it's on the YouTube, but it's also on the Coalition. We're the sister site to that. So we're all connected. We're all family. So yeah, go check all that out. Coalition.com, TV terminal on YouTube, and of course everything here on the Throwdown Show over on YouTube.
There you go. Manny, what you got?
Yes. So, for those of you who have been paying attention to my Twitter and IDW's Twitter, remember how I always told you that there's a lot of nostalgia projects that we're going to be doing? So, what was announced very recently, which is Street Sharks. Kari, Randolph, and I have done a cover for the relaunch or the first time launch of Street Sharks, the comic book, through IDW Comics. So that's going to be available in September. So you're probably going to hear me talking about this for at least a few more months. Covers are all up, for the first issue. Our cover is a very rare one. Unfortunately, again, we don't have control over what IDW does with the work that we do for them. So it is a retailer exclusive, which means that if they, I can't remember what the numbering was, but it's a certain amount of orders that the store has to do in order to be able to get those covers. So hopefully you'll be able to get your hands on that cover. And yeah, so that'll be coming out in September.
Question. Yes. Do you ever get any comments from people that find these? Like, I would think if I found one, I would send you a man like, look what I found.
And
people would send you that.
A couple of times, especially with the Ninja Turtles one. The one that Kari and I did, that one is incredibly rare. So yeah, it was they, especially when I started posting about me having a few of them with me, and when I went over to C2E2, a lot of people were like, oh man, I gotta go over there, I gotta get one. So yeah, you definitely you can get there, because like right now our covers are like, those covers are like, you can find them on eBay and they're $100 or more sometimes, because it's just so rare. There's just not even a lot of them. So yeah. But yeah, so that's coming, and obviously, like I said before, there's more to come. A few more nostalgia properties that Kari and I have done that are going to be coming eventually. Don't know when, but they will be coming soon. So stay tuned for that. Cool. Also, if you're, again, Skybound has a, was it the Silent Interlude issue, which I'm going to be getting right now, but which is out right now on Skybound site, is also on your local stores and comic book stores. You can get the actual cover, but our cover is a special one that's for skybound.com. So yeah, if you want to pick that one up, that's all there. And then also I have plenty of copies on my own. So, maybe we'll toss them in, for our yearly giveaway, right?
Cool.
That we have, so stay tuned for that.
All right, good stuff, man. All right, we're out of here. So make sure you follow Throwdown, Twitch and Twitter. Check us out on Discord. Also, follow us on your favorite podcast app. And yeah, man, Summer Game Fest, it's on. So make sure you come back on Sunday. It is on. All right, man. Once again, I was Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Chris Seeley.
Take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Adam Vale.
Good weekend, everybody.
And Brian Manjoma.
So that's why he doesn't want to release the list.
We won't talk about that. All right, guys, we'll see you on Sunday. And I don't just mean for Throwdown Your Questions. It's going to be a lot of podcasting that day. So get ready. Summer Game Fest, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. And then obviously Throwdown Your Questions at night. All right, later.
Sunday.
All right, later, people.
Laters.
Laters.